Rap beef, nigga.
Punk ass
Oh, Jerry Torres, nigga, big nigga.
Stomp him in the nuts, I'ma stomp him in the nuts. Stomp him in the nuts, I'ma stomp him in the nuts.
Peekaboo, 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 peekaboo.
My brain is still in recovery mode from taking in so many high-level important ideas.
Hello, humans. Welcome to Audioface Awards Show 2024.
The award show.
Right. I'm Sean.
I'm Dan.
And this is the annual awards show, where we give the correct and only correct opinions on musical categories.
God's opinions.
God's very own, October's very own. Can't wait. By the way, all of those little snippets you put just fucking destroyed me. The special report with Brett Baer sound with No Chill Island just sent me through like that right there. It's like, oh yeah, it's game over. Like that's it.
Just had to play all the old ones, all the hits, because this is a momentous episode. This we've been doing this for a long time. We're doing this for what would this be, the 8th annual Audioface Awards, but it's always like the 8th award show, but it's like 7 years of us doing it. We started in 2017. We're here in 2025 rather, as I will be reminded it's not 2015 anymore. And we have definitely, the way this show has existed has changed over the past couple years. It's going to continue to change very much so, especially in the near future. Because frankly, this is the year we won Audioface. This is like, we just did like everything we created this podcast in spite of, in protest of, kind of got proven out. What we hated about the way albums were reviewed, what we hated about pop music and rap music and rock music and how they were changing. And not that we hated these genres, we love these genres. They were evolving in real time before our eyes, but we wanted a way to like kind of chronicle it and like, say that, okay, we have a record of this happening and this changing. And much to our surprise, not only did we have that record, but the music world changed sort of to our opinions, kind of to what we said. We really did not think we'd ever see the downfall of Drake for all the things we thought we would see the downfall for all the like,
that just playing out in real time. That was a cherry on top.
We've been talking about that stuff since like the beginning of the podcast, all the weird, okay, you and the Stranger Things person, okay, you and so-and-so. Like we've been talking about all this for a while, but it's been really great to kind of see all this coalesce. Also, again, all the genres kind of, become their own thing. It's all happening. So as for Audioface, what it becomes in the future, thank you all for watching and listening and contributing to it. It's still a part of the Syndicate 23 network. There's still a bunch of episodes I need to edit and publish and go through. And it's kind of great because what I noticed was that as I was uploading episodes, most people would watch them not in like the week or two after we publish them most of the time, but in the weeks, months, years afterwards. And it would always be interesting to see like, oh, a spike of a bunch of people watch this review around this time because we were just a year or a year and a half ahead of a bunch of people learning this album was really cool. And so I feel like we're going to get to do that for a bunch of albums going forward. And especially as the music industry is changing in ways that we'll cover and talk about, albeit in not a weekly audio face fashion, just because I don't think the music industry makes sense for that anymore.
No, I don't think it does either.
Yeah, I think the music industry is very much like the rap world is very local. It's not much about like who is charting nationally. It's more like
Right.
who are the local hits, who are the local sensations. Pop is very ephemeral. For years, it was driven by TikTok in America, especially with TikTok being banned in America. It's going to be interesting to see potentially, of course. We're talking in January. It's going to be interesting to see how that actually plays out and turns out. But yeah, like so much of music has changed. So much of music has kind of changed into something that we wanted to see, that it felt like, you know, this is the time to adjust our approach to how we cover music on the show. Instead, focus on the fundamentals of what makes music great rather than what new music is coming out every week, because I think we hit a renaissance and, you know, new music coming out every week that was really cool. And now the market is caught up to where you have so much new music being released every week. And so much of it is, you know, good. And enough of it realize it that there's these micro niches all around the internet. And it's very hard to keep track of until these things kind of pop up. Like Chappell Roan, it would have been impossible for a show like Audioface to pick out someone like Chappell Roan when that album came out in when Good Luck Babe came out in 2023. Yes. We had heard little rumblings about it, especially when she'd started on tour. But an artist like that didn't really blow up until 2024. And you know, Chappell Roan holds a, not even just holds a candle, but definitely like holds a no pun intended, but you know, holds a match to definitely competes with all of your best pop artists of this year. Very established pop artists, from Charlie XCX to Billie Eilish to Sabrina Carpenter, who's less established, still seems kind of newer, but has definitely, you know, been practiced at this. So yeah, you have a good variety throughout here. And so yeah, that is what the new music world is. The only thing that hasn't happened that would really make Audioface complete is a new Horrors album, and that's happening later this year. And so
Literally, once that was announced, like, all right, that's it. All right,
we're good. All right,
we're good. That's all I need. That's all I wanted. Literally, we kept joking for months. All we need is a new Horrors
years.
All we need is a new Horrors record. Yeah, for literally since 2017, and now we got it. It's like, all right, cool, sweet, thanks. That's all she wrote. I don't need anything else anymore. Stop music. That's it.
Every degenerate drug addict, dead or alive, bless their souls, has always chased their first high. And thankfully on Audioface, we get to do it again without dying. Without dying and without most of us getting arrested. And so
wow.
Well, you know.
Well, hey, this time Dan is not on the award show. Dan is not nominated for the 2024 awards.
And I barely squeaked by the namesake. But anyways, that is to say, Audioface for 2025 and beyond. If you like those bonus episodes that we used to do, you'll see some more of those. We're gonna do more of those. We didn't get to do many of those in 2024. You'll see some more of those. For those folks who missed the Audioface weekly episodes, we'll be seeing more of those. No. There's no. Like yeah, for reasons
first off, ain't no time. We both are extremely busy, so there's that. And second off, I mean, like this year especially, I felt almost burnt out from it because of how many releases there were, to where I almost felt like I wasn't doing it justice in a way, to where I really want to, you know, divulge your record, really, you know, let it marinate and dissect it type more, right? Where watching some other reviewers and stuff, right? Like, I feel like we have a good format here and whatnot, but I felt like too where we've done it for so long that now I'm like, I would want to change it up to where we get to talk about why we like a record so much or why we like the sound and everything. So then people could look back on it and be like, oh, okay, even touching up, maybe, let's throw an ideas out here, even touch up on records that we already reviewed like years ago or something and be like, hey, like, how has this album matured? How has this, are our opinions the same?
Some of my favorite. So speaking of maturing and opinions going the same, I've had like on again, off again opinions with Anthony Fantano. Once I saw him striking with Amazon union workers this winter, I was like, okay,
yeah, he goes hard.
We're good. I always liked how he would go back and revisit some albums, and he stood 10 toes down on a lot of his reviews. But I'm super down to go back on a lot of my albums and just be like, no, I would definitely review this one differently or that one differently.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like for me, like I would like immediately, I would want to go review Without Warning again. Like I complete Uno. How did we say it? Double reverse backflip unfree free Slim Jimmy.
10 years. By the way, I think today is the 10-year anniversary of the first Ray Shremmerd record. At the time of recording, the 6th of January.
Oh my god, man!
I feel so old. God, 2014,
2015. It's time.
Black Beatles 2015. Oh god,
man, what a time to be alive! Holy shit!
Oh my god, I still hadn't double crossed Eddie in 2015. That was so good. Good times.
Anyone but Dan, please.
Meanwhile, Dan.
Meanwhile,
literally Dan.
Christ, what a time.
I can't even go into this anymore. Anyways, this has been enough. But anyways, Audioface, not ending, changing, yes. Getting better, in my opinion, yes. We've been talking about bonus episodes that we want to do very soon. Like we said, getting into music, revisiting old albums, just like getting into like really enjoying the music again and still enjoying new music, but kind of like not just recontextualizing it as a game of like what good came out this week, because the game has changed. So yeah.
It's just too much, right? And like, I'd rather really marinate on
too many notes,
records and stuff. Literally too many notes.
Yeah. For every, I'm not even gonna name the rappers anymore because I'm just gonna sound old and cringe to my niece and nephew. But I'm just gonna say, Miles broke the internet. It's not gonna get any better than Miles. Anyways, let's get into the award show. The award show.
All right.
Okay. First award is it's an important one, actually.
I love how we start with this one.
I mean, this is partly my just like not planning this super well, but this is the
we just need to get this. This right here is why I get up in the morning. This is why I go to work. This is why I save away. This is why, this is the bread and butter. This is the meat and potatoes, Caesar's favorite phrase. This is the Timothy Daniel Poole Note a Little Bitch Award. Also now featuring Express Surface for defending Drake in 2024. So if you defended Drake, your ass is getting nominated. So basically,
do not pass go, do not collect $200.
Absolutely go directly to jail. No visitors either. Basically, the idea at the Note a Little Bitch is, I mean, the whole reason, actually, the original Note a Little Bitch was white men quitting Twitter because they got bullied. This is the original.
And times change, values don't. Because this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate in white men getting bullied off Twitter and quitting.
It was originally for Win Butler and someone else too, I think.
The Win Butler Note a Little Bitch Award. That's a classic.
Dude, man. Don't make it like this anymore.
Because like when we started the show, we're like, we don't wanna name call all of our favorite artists, like the lead singer of Arcade Fire. But don't get me wrong, we won't hesitate.
I mean, I had to nominate. I had to nominate Truman Black, aka Matty Healy, because he quit Twitter. So I'm like, hey, I fucks with Matty Healy, but I gotta nominate my boy because on Audioface we have morals. We stand on principles.
That used to be the old Zap. Now if you quit Twitter, no matter what, even if you didn't play music, if you quit Twitter, you automatically got the Zap Express service. Now it's just defending Drake in 2024.
Defended Drake, Zap Express.
And you know what? To be honest, there were too many people all this year to really do the Zap Express justice. I mean, there was Joe Budden defending Drake. There was all these different artists, all these different bots.
Streamers,
there were a bunch of people who were like defending Drake, and then they were like, no, we can't anymore. Because I saw Kendrick's pop-out show on Juneteenth, and they were like, oh, we get it. Oh, we really can't.
Oh, oops.
He's really not with a culture feeling. We
never forget LeBron, going word for word with Kendrick. Ugh. That must have been a dagger to Drake's heart right there.
Because LeBron can't go word for word on shit. LeBron be ad-libbing worse than a rapper's live DJ. Just like
worse than fake dooms.
Literally. So for this the Noted Little Bitch award. Also, if you won the award last year, your name is stuck to that joint for the entire year. So for the past 360 plus, almost 400 days, we've been referring to it as the Timothy Daniel Poole Noted Little Bitch Award because of Tim Pool.
Yes, but because also it was two times, so it's actually really been like 700 days.
Oh wow. That's not the Zap. That's just like the
because he got it for that horrible music video thingy that he got, and then he got it for also being a bitch the following year. He got it in 2022, and then he got it in 2023 because he's
right.
Timothy Daniel Poole, two-time Noted Little Bitch award.
So you've got to be extreme in order to beat this award, frankly. And nominated for it are, of course, Aubrey Drake Graham. Of course.
Just he's been nominated, I think, every single year.
Him and DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled's been kind of sleeping. Well. Okay, can we nominate that for the hard R? Actually, is he nominated for the hard R award? Actually, come to think of it, let me put that in real quick. Live editing. Let me just slide that one in. Where's the hard R?
I will say, just generally for this edition of the Audioface Awards, because the Supreme Court doesn't matter in the real world, and we eventually created court packing as a point to be like, hey, Democrats should pack the courts because if a Republican president wins, it's going to be too late. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Too Late. So there's no reason to court pack anymore. It's too late. So we're just going to add stuff as it comes along here. But yeah, Aubrey Drake Graham, we've been trying to put him for the Noted Little Bitch for a long time.
For almost a decade at this point.
For basically everything that has been quote unquote revealed in this most recent rap beef. I mean, the fact that he's been the elusive, snitch sort of thing we've been trying to catch this entire time. Because
golden snitch.
The fact that we did this podcast during the Pusha T beef and he the award was like one of our biggest losses on the podcast.
Who won that year though? Fuck, I'd have to go back.
Yeah, we'd have to. That was 2018, right?
Yeah.
Jamie, can you Google that? I can check who won that Noted Little Bitch award right now. I have it up. Oh my god, it was Offset.
Oh no.
And you know what's bad? I regret it even then because that wasn't even his most recent divorce from Cardi.
That's why I don't know, because that was the first time. There's 2 times.
No, wasn't that the second time? Because I think this divorce has been like the 3rd time.
Oh my god, I can't keep track. How many times? Jesus.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the.
Is that was the whole "Take Me Back, Cardi" had like a whole thing. Oh man,
The unsolicited flowers.
yeah, the unsolicited flowers, everything. Oh my god, Lord help me.
Yeah, like Drake lost a generational rap beef against Pusha T, but he tried to wipe it off as like, it's fine. I have a son. It's all good. And Pusha T, who is he? He doesn't even sell any records or whatever. He tried to do those same things, and then Kendrick was like, "Okay, no. Pusha T was my cannon fodder. I wanted to see how you would deal with Pusha T. Now you got to deal with me." And when Drake tried that, "Oh, you sell less records than me," Not Like Us dropped. Also, Drake's fans tried to conveniently forget the fact that Kendrick Lamar had been selling arenas worldwide at least since To Pimp a Butterfly. Definitely with Damn. The Damn tour was like, we're selling arenas now.
No,
And then with Pimp to Mr. Morale afterwards. So yeah, he's been a big artist. The issue is, and not to recap the whole rap beef because I promised John we wouldn't. But Sean and Dan 2024, 10 minutes is 10 minutes. We've the thing that made this beef really interesting and special, of course, was that and why it was like one of those, oh wow, we can end the podcast. Like we've made our point, is that Drake being fake, Drake being kind of creepy around girls, Drake being all these different things that we had seen in music culture and rap music culture and talked about
and called out.
Yeah, it's like all these things we've criticized for years that we've seen Drake do that other people have not gotten away with, Drake has gotten away with. And then Kendrick was just like, nah. And then Future, of course, like, to go through it super quickly, Future and Metro Boomin gave Kendrick the stepping stool, no pun intended. He's 5'8", right? They gave him the stepping stool with like that propelled Drake and him to go back and forth in their beef. There are a bunch of different like strays and backwards, which is why, like, Rick Ross's thing with Drake was real cool, but and I was enjoying it for a time. Like in spring, I was enjoying that. White boy, white boy. I was enjoying that pop off for a little bit, but the way you used to be able to say like ethered was the verb for like destroying someone in rap music. Ethered doesn't match this. Not Like Us doesn't even really match this. Like Kendrick Swiss cheese the dude. Like, imagine playing your diss song to a sold out crowd on the blackest day of the year to an audience of gang members who all hate each other, singing hand in hand, Kumbaya, dancing to the song, calling you not just a bitch, not just ain't shit, not just a phony rapper, not just against black culture, but also a kid diddler,
like
a PDF file downloader. And Kendrick ran that joint 5 times on Jeff Bezos's internet. Literally, that shit was streaming on Twitch, dude.
You really just got Kanye and Jay-Z in Paris, just like 10 times in a row, just again.
That's nothing. I mean, I've never seen a stop, he's already dead this hard since the original bit from The Simpsons in the 90s. Like when Homer Simpson is beating the dog shit out of Krusty the Clown, like, no, stop, he's already dead. Like, and then Kendrick was like, no, I'm gonna keep releasing subliminals. I'm gonna keep releasing all these different Black Air Forces singles. I'm gonna drop GNX. I'm gonna drop a world tour. I'm gonna drop more singles on that world tour.
By the way, Super Bowl coming up.
I got the Super Bowl coming up. By the way, I'm gonna triple tap Drake on Father's Day in Toronto. Meet the Grams. I believe Meet the Grams dropped on Father's Day on June, right? No.
Yeah,
I think it was Not Like Us. It's either like Meet the Grams or Not Like Us that dropped on like Father's Day. It can't have been Not Like Us had been very well out because the pop out was announced on Juneteenth. Was going to be on Juneteenth. That would have been like June 19th or 18th, right? Father's Day would have been like June 10th. But I feel like the video for Not Like Us or something like that was
Something
released
like
on
that.
Father's
I'm
Day.
not-
But you know, Kendrick is deviant like this. And so he's going to be
But-
doing multiple shows in Toronto on Father's Day. Like again, this is the notable bitch award. And you have to be bitched to be noted.
to me, what automatically extreme nominated Drake, Aubrey Graham, Drake Graham, was him suing the Spotify for streaming, saying that they were pumping up fake numbers for Kendrick, and everybody's like, "Yeah, no, those are real numbers."
Oh yeah, no. There was
Like, that is extreme bitch made. Like, you go over there and hand them the old skling of like, here's some lawsuit papers, buddy. Like, you're not streaming all of that. Well,
we on the Audioface podcast are strong believers in if you've got beef, you better handle that out on wax. The moment you take it off wax and put it on 8x11s, on them 8x10s, on that legal parchment. The moment you take it off the wax and move it to the legal parchment, you've lost by default.
in the words of Tony Soprano, hey, what do? We clean up our own dirty laundry. That's what you got to do. If you got beef, you settle it. But if you go out and bring it to the courts and bring it up to them, to the lawyers, that's bitch.
You know how every time LeBron is like losing a game, he starts to like limp his way over to the refs and pretend like the best player possibly of all time is getting worked over. Like again, this is that. You cannot simultaneously say you're the best of all time and also have to like pull the yellow stop requested thing on the bus when shit gets too heavy in the back. Like, you know what? Oh yeah, that's 10 minutes.
It is more than 10 minutes. It's just like the amount, like it was an entire year of like every other week was something just like, oh, he's renominated again. Oh, he's nominated again.
And
oh,
no,
he's nominated again.
It's not just like him suing, not to belabor this any point more, but like all of his responses to the beef were like miss the point .mp4. When he said in what he said in Drake's song The Heart Part 5, where Drake tried to like co-opt, or The Heart Part 6 rather, where Drake tried to co-opt Kendrick's, album release series.
Mm-hmm.
And Kendrick was like, okay, that's cute, I'm gonna release my own Heart Part 6 anyway.
It's like, I already made it, but thanks.
No, but like sorry, minor trigger warning, because these are some of the darker but also dumber parts of the rap beef. But when Drake misinterpreted Mother I Sober from Mr. Morale as Mother I, oh, I know why you rapped about getting molested. It's like, you just Rorschached yourself, dude, because you just admitted that you just perceived something and you just admitted your perception. And the way you perceive it and the way the world perceives it is like completely fucking different. Dude,
very different.
It's like one of those moments in a political debate where you realize the person who's been like popping off all that good shit for the entire hour, years, decades before that debate, says something as stupid as like as Dave Rubin going on Joe Rogan's house, like, well, obviously we don't need, permits and government regulation. Just, you just build it yourself.
Where would we need the government to go and like actually measure out electrical circuits and to give out regulations on like building codes? Why would we need that?
eventually these people get so lost in their own sauce that like even an idiot will just go, wait, pause it for a second. What?
It's like, you said what now?
Are you stupid? So yeah, Drake, man, it's been a long time coming. We've been wanting to do this for a while. Aubrey Drake Graham, we here at the Audioface podcast, established 2017, would like to hereby award you with not just the Audioface Award, not just the newly minted Aubrey Drake Graham Noted Little Bitch Award for 2024, but I'd like to introduce to you our first edition of the arbitrary award for this Audioface. Ladies and gentlemen, I got that secret Diddy mist. I got that secret Diddy mist. I'm gonna hit you with that secret Diddy mist. Jesus Christ. I will be awarding all losers this year with that secret Diddy mist.
Oh, yeah, we gotta end the show after this one. Oh god, that actually, the that just makes me happy.
We used to give away Cheez-Its. We used to give away
Cheez-Its. Those are the days.
Honestly,
But you know,
upgrade.
for legal parts paper reasons,
you want to know how much Diddy mist costs? You want to know how much it costs to get this lube from not Costco? This is Sam's Club lube, allegedly. Sean watching his career flash before his eyes.
literally, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm not getting hired. Oh, yeah, makes sense.
All around me are familiar.
But the Aubrey Drake Graham Noted Little Bitch Award just. But we will still keep the Zap Express service for defending Drake in the decade 2020.
Sorry, fuck, I forgot. Jermaine Lamar Cole.
Oh yeah, so we have two other nominees, two nominees who we have to talk about for a second because they also get them Diddy missed, but they don't win the award because Drake gets the award. Jermaine Lamar Cole literally pops out what might delete this later, whatever the fuck he calls it.
Might delete later.
And basically, has this ridiculous album where he calls out Kendrick and stuff in defense of Drake, so Zap Express, and then goes on stage and goes, hey guys, sorry, that was kind of weird. That wasn't right of me to call out Kendrick like that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to delete that track, blah, blah, just forget what I said. Which in hindsight...
But love. I have all love, which... Yeah.
All love, no, just all love, man. All love. I'm like, you know what? A, you a bitch. B, that was the smartest career decision you ever made. Was getting the fuck out of the train that was Kendrick Lamar, just destroying Drake because he would have dragged your dead corpse along with him too. And
yeah, like J. Cole did the ultimate Uncle Ruckus. I apologize for my outburst.
Literally, that was exactly that. Like he
Could
got
you
out
say
of
that
there.
again? I couldn't hear with the sound of me shitting myself.
Literally, you still have a career because you're a bitch. Like that is great. That's amazing.
Like I would listen. Bowing out of a rap beef and saying it's all cool, it's all love, peace, after, by the way, delivering not at all an even good response in that 7-minute drill verse was bad. I would have been willing to let it slide because honestly, Livingston Allen, aka DJ Academics, deserves it worse for being a noted, alleged, although very well documented sex offender. But Jermaine Lamar Cole definitely gets it because he released a song. Like Drake also released a series of terrible songs after the Kendrick beef. Like Kendrick said, superpowers get neutralized. You can only watch in silence. Drake literally has not been able to rap in a single song since this rap beef. But J. Cole hasn't either. He released this one song that was like a grippy or something. with us getting a feature with some other artist, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, J. Cole's been nerfed. Like, Valve released that young patch update for him. It's like, sorry, we're not no more mini crits on J. Cole. We're gonna have to bump you down 40% on your rockets. No more of that. So that's the damn shame.
Beautiful.
Livingston Allen is ultimately the Livingston Allen Noted Little Bitch Award. Because DJ Academic's truly one of the worst people in media. And also because Drake has, not stimulused him out yet, has looked even more pathetic than ever. I mean, he's been exposed as a clout chaser. He's been exposed as a, even liking Kendrick Lamar's music on the low, because I think his Spotify most listened to music was
it was Kendrick, and then he was like, "Oh, what? I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that." It's like,
it's like
rethink your life.
It's like when your girlfriend catches you watching porn. It's like, no, it's research, babe. It's research.
And she gives you an out. Well, was it a risky click?
Sorry, the VPN was off. Anyways, Aubrey Graham, the Aubrey Drake Graham Noted Little Bitch Award, indefinitely.
Absolutely, like 1,000,000%. Finally, we did it. We did it, Joe. We did it.
8 years, dude.
8 years. It took almost a decade to finally get this guy.
I had to date Aaliyah twice just to get Drake. Next album, we've got the things I do for this podcast.
Jesus Christ. So wait, we got to update this.
Yeah, real heads remember the parrot years. Okay, so
we gotta update this. We gotta update this one.
What's the worst thing that happened in 2024 besides
Trump
Anna Kasparian's opinions?
Oh, can I be mean? Oh no, I can't do that.
I mean, you could be mean. I'm not gonna say we're gonna do that as the answer, but sure.
I was gonna say, like, just hear me out. Hear me out. Worst music on Flat Scorched Earth, New Hawaii, No Quid Pro Quo, Bleach Injection, Rip Skull Diamond, FTX Trinity Unlimited, Bahamas, Tommy's Wedding 2023. Anna Kasparian's nose.
Okay. Hashtag no politics is how I'm gonna get out of that one.
Hashtag no politics. Fine. All
right. Hashtag no politics.
I've changed value still. Hashtag no politics. You straight J. Cole your way out of that one.
That J. Cole, That's So Raven meme where I look into the future. No.
What's the worst thing that happened this year? There's a lot. I mean,
can I be honest? I mean, like, can I be brutally honest?
Go ahead.
Gaza. I just said Gaza. It's not funny. It's just like worst thing that happened in 2024. Just everything in Gaza.
Apartheid Clyde.
I want to include God. Is there something Netanyahu did that was like kind of stupid last year, but kind of funny?
I mean, you got Chinese spy balloons. You got drones. New Jersey drones. Oh, I know. 100%. Boeing doors. 737 doors. that was this year.
There we go.
That was this year.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boeing whistleblowers.
Boeing was like, oh, yes. Yes.
All right.
So next category. Worst music on Flat Scorched Earth, Nuked Hawaii, No Quid Pro Quo, Bleach Injection, Ripped Skull Diamond, FTX Trading Limited, Bahamas, Tommy's Wedding 2023, Boeing Whistleblowers, Audioface, Unsung, or Album of the Year. Basically the worst thing you could possibly make. And we do add something from every year of how bad it was. Because the first year was Flat Scorched Earth, and then it just got ridiculous. So
This year?
actually, this year wasn't terrible. This year
Well,
wasn't terrible.
there was a lot terrible, but there was so much that was good. We were able to ignore most of the terrible, but still,
Right.
some stuff managed to, what is it when you try to flush a turd so big that it just starts to gurgle a little bit and starts to fill your toilet with more brown because it's not going down, just like starting to fill upwards. You're like, oh no, 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 no. Yeah, this is the overflowing poo of music. And there's no better way to describe Party Next Door's fourth LP, P4, than an overflowing toilet where like you want to just stick the plunger in there, but
God, what
you
this piece of shit.
but like it party P4 was so bad that if you try to fix that toilet as it's getting clogged, your great grandchildren will be nicknamed Pigpen. Like it's such a stinker. Like it's a like your it's listening to this album is like giving your great great grandchildren the curse of Ra from like Egypt and ancient Egyptian history. Like it's so
Brilliant.
bad. Like I don't know. I mean, Party Next Door is also one of those things, kind of like LMFAO, which should have just been like left in MySpace
2010.
millennial 2010s, but along with that era of Black Eyed Peas, I attest that Black Eyed Peas' last good song was Dirty Bit, but yeah, it was just horrendous. I don't know what the appeal to Party Next Door is when you have like, if you're that trashy as a millennial and still listening to Party Next Door, you're probably in jail and not able to listen to their music. And if you're that trashy, and not, I'm not even talking about like the drunk tank. I'm talking about like like a couple. I'm talking about spending months. I'm talking about YNW Melly times. But if you're listening to trashier music, you're probably younger and you have better music to listen to. Like, why listen to Party Next Door when Sexy Red is over there? We have Sexy Red at home. Like, there's no reason. So yeah, it was just terrible. And then secondly, Eternal A Take Two by Lil Uzi Vert, which is
literally unlistenable. I tried the first song and I was like, I cannot sit through this.
They say sequels are bad, but I think this is the worst sequel in any form of media ever. Like movies, video games, spin-off video games. This is worse than Young Sheldon.
That's so rough. That's so rough.
This is the worst spin-off
listen
of
to
all
the opening
time.
track, We Good. It was one of the worst things I've ever listened to on Audioface. It was up there with the legendary Fallout Boy. Whatever the 2018 garbage record was that I like wanted to actually just gouge my ears out from how bad it was.
Mania.
Eternal Take Two. Yep. Eternal Take Two was that close. I was like, wow, this is bad. Like,
Which
bad,
is
bad.
a damn shame because Lil Uzi Vert's last project, which I forget the name of, but we reviewed it and was complete dog shit, all right? But there was stuff like I Wanna Rock. There was some really kind of at least I won't say experimental, but I'll say courageous blends of SoundCloud rap music with punk rock music that had been kind of hinted at but hadn't been fully explored. So at least you were seeing some trying there. And Eternal A Take One was kind of the trap album of the COVID era. Like it came out right during the lockdowns. You had You Better Move, you had Fusal Shuffle. You had a lot of good tracks on there. And that's really kind of what gave Lil Uzi Vert any sort of credibility. Completely lost with this record. Eternal A Take Two felt like the kind of album you release as a deluxe to your hit trap record in 2017 it just came out in late 2024, which is an assault to the senses. So
It's awful.
worse. Keith Oldman voiced worse. I don't know. I don't know which one's
I
worse.
think Eternal Take 2 is unlistenable. Like, it is bad. There's nothing good about it. It just needs to be removed. Like, after that, like, Skull Diamond himself needs to just stop making music. Like, that's it, bro. Like,
But
no, yes, sir, ski. That's it.
nothing by Party Next Door was better. Again, you have to convince me right now that something Party Next Door made was at least I can say Uzi Vert released good music in the past.
I don't give a flying fuck about the past. I'm comparing two bad records. Party Next Door's for P4. It's just like the most bland crap trap neopop bullshit that you've listened to, right? But it's listenable at least.
No,
where
it's not listenable because like Party like Sean.
Okay, here. No, just the first songs on each record go from We Good. Convince me how Control, the opening track for Party Next Door, is better than We Good.
I'm happily able to convince you to. Easily, it'll make your head spin.
You can't. We Good is like you cannot listen
because
to that auto-tune
Sean,
bullshit.
You and I have been reminiscing on the fact that we are old, that we are starting to be able to count the number of gray hairs we have on more than two hands, and that back when we can count those number of gray hairs on one hand, Lil Uzi Vert was still making good music. Back when we had no hairs to count,
Love
Party Next Door was still making bad music. So,
I don't care what they did in the past. I just care about worst music on this earth. Eternal Take 2 is just like there's nothing. I can't. It's just...
Eternal Take 2 was bad, maybe even worse than Party Next Door. But when I listen to Eternal Take 2, I can at least look at the title and go, "Oh yeah, that's right. I liked Eternal Take 1." I didn't like even the first Party Next Door record. Party Next Door has never made anything good. The fact that they made it to 4 and had the balls to release something in 2024, it's just like, it's more insulting to me than Lil Uzi Vert, which is kind of just like, it's like beating up on the disabled. It's just like it's I mean, he installed
I'm moving on from that one. I'm just gonna step over that one. That's rough. Just gonna step over that one.
In the Audioface Awards, we can't have a tie if that's possible. And so it's I'm sorry.
I think Pink Tape might have won last year too, to be fair. So
let's call that a tie. I forgot to turn off Warpath Dan, so I just center divided. I told you this is gonna be a classic Audioface.
Christ, Lord help me.
Okay, folks, best indie album. Let's get serious, folks. We have Like All Before You by The Voids with a Z, Wild God by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and Prelude to Ecstasy by The Last Dinner Party. Sean?
All right. So I kind of wanted to keep The Voids in indie because to me, the Strokes are alternative, but The Voids are definitely more like experimental weird, especially this record, Like All Before You. I feel like is one of those records where it's like, yeah, it's not alternative, right? Like this is the perfect like little indie alt rock record, right? Like this, they don't make them like this anymore type deals, right? And I know a lot of people didn't like All Before You. I thought it was fantastic, right? Like the Voids as a project are always trying to make new music. They're trying to make different projects and sounds, and it might not be the most cohesive project in the world, but I think for this, it really like establishes their sound in a way where like, oh no, that's a Voyage track, right? Like now that's distinctively that. And there's some of my favorite songs of the year are on here, and even favorite Voyage tracks. Like Flexorcist, I was like, when the single came out in late 2023, I was very excited, and I've been listening to Flexorcist all freaking year. Like, I love that track, right? You have All the Same, you have Square Wave, the beautiful little piano ballad, Spectra Analysis in the middle. It's a beautiful record. And to me, it's quintessential indie, where it's kind of quirky, it's weird, it's experimental, it's not the most cohesive project, but it's different, it's fresh, and for a group who has, to be fair, been together for a little bit, it still shows that, hey, like, they've got what it takes, they've got that experimentation still in them to push music forward, type deal.
Before you move on to the other records, I just want to say that like definitely the Voids' past record, I want to say it's called Alienation.
Virtue.
Oh, of Virtue. But has
Alienation song Virtue.
Yes. Alienation, Curious has a couple of songs in there. It's been one of those examples to really quickly buttress your point of the Voids have been around, and the people within the Voids have been around in indie since the late 90s, early 2000s. And the reason why indie was such an interesting genre, even to like young kids not to date us, but like, young kids in the 2000s, like Sean and I were, there was just a feeling that the potential of this kind of music could transcend not just what you were hearing, not just what you could hear in the future, but for many decades to come. And, quite frankly, a lot of bands, honestly, it's not like Sean and I were smart or anyone was smart in that time, because most bands that people were listening to at that time didn't pass that test. I mean, I would have thought the Postal Service would have still been making music like the Voids were, or, even Vampire Weekend or the Strokes were, but they ultimately didn't. They just kind of did one and done their whole thing.
Right.
Other bands like Franz Ferdinand and the Dandy Warhols, I thought would have done a little bit better, and they kind of had their own respectable careers, but flamed out in their own ways. The Voids has shown that within that genre you can consistently and repeatedly do interesting things, and not consistently interesting in that like, oh, you're consistently surprising people, but much like the Avalanches, who spent 20 years in between a record, surprise you with every single album, single, whatever they do. And so the Voids are one of the rare bands that have been able to show over that, now 25 plus year discography, they can continue to impress and improve and show us awesome things. Yes. Wild God by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
All right, so this is an interesting record, where this one took me a little bit to get into, but ended up really enjoying this record a lot. So Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, they've been together for a long fucking time as well, right? But again, it's one of those records and stuff to me that fits more in the indie category and whatnot. I'm gonna kind of explain that because we were always really hard set on putting records in alt and indie and all that, and I felt like alt this year was just too big of a category as well. So with this, but this is almost a return to form record to me as well, because I really enjoyed the entire project compared to some of the other stuff that I heard from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. It's interesting, it's kind of a slow burn within the record, but the production, even the vocals, I'm not a big fan of their vocals usually. I thought were fantastic throughout the record. I ended up really enjoying it. It was one of those that took me a while. It's like it came out in summer, I believe, or like late summer, maybe August or something like that. And it took me a while to kind of really enjoy it. And as a year got on and I was listening to a lot the past month, like I went a little crazy. I need to just not listen. I just need to listen to air conditioning for the next like month to just reset my brain. And like literally, it's too much. And I ended up really enjoying this record a lot. Again, this is one of those things where this record and a couple others this year actually really made me want to dig deep into changing Audioface this year. Of I want to go back to some records that I really enjoy, as some records that I didn't enjoy at the time and now I enjoy now and stuff, and even artists that I may have not enjoyed and whatnot. This is one of those records where I was like, when we reviewed it, I liked it, but I thought it was okay. And as the year came on, I was like, oh no, actually, this was a pretty damn good record. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was one of those like critically acclaimed and the usual like indie head spaces that I follow on the internet. Yeah, a lot of the same things. I don't have a big background with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds before, but upon listening to this, I was genuinely pleased with the variety that it brought. And then The Last Dinner Party, Prelude to Ecstasy. The Last Dinner Party, which is one of those like 2024, I forgot that we were blessed with a Last Dinner Party record.
Yeah, that was the debut record that came out early this year. Like early this year. It was like late January, early February. It's like at the beginning of the year. So it like set the tone almost for this year.
Keep talking as I lift my
switches to a standing desk. And it's hard because there was so much music that came out throughout the year that I wanted to make sure that this didn't get forgotten, because this was a record I listened to a lot this year. This is quintessential indie, and for a genre, right? Like there were several artists and several albums that I was actually pretty disappointed in indie. A big one was B2B. Like I really disliked that record. I thought it was bland and boring. I was like, damn, right?
A lot of folks did
like,
too. Folks who like you have been enjoying B2B for a minute.
Exactly. And like I've been very critical of indie as a genre because, right, I really, it's pretty much my favorite genre, right, or a subsection of indie. And with The Last Dinner Party, this is one of those where I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. Brand new artist comes out with a record that is just gorgeous. Like Burn Alive is such a powerful track at the beginning of the record that it really sets you up to really sets up the record to get you an idea of what it's going to be. And it's just such a powerful hit that it almost blew me out of the water of just how nice of a track that is. You have like The Feminine Urge, you have Beautiful Boy, Sinner, like it's just a very, very well thought out record, and something I listened to a lot this year, and an artist that I'm like, damn, I'm actually really excited to see where they go, how they evolve and everything within their sound and their next projects from this. But yeah, really, really like this record a lot. I thought this is quintessential indie in a year to where there were several projects I didn't like. And I think I said that in State of Music, where I was really disappointed within indie the past couple of years. This is a record, an album where I'm like, ooh, yeah, okay, there's still some good indie stuff coming out. And there's still good new artists out there for the genre.
Many of them are British.
As always. I mean, it's almost always, except the New York Void. So thanks. Yeah, and I play shortstop for the Mets.
I gotta get like a Mets jersey, but it just says the Voids.
Dude, if I find that shit, I'm getting that for you. And just
it's literally never gonna exist.
Like that would go so hard.
There's gonna be like a King Ghidorah Yankees jersey, which also no one who's really no real New Yorker likes the Yankees.
It's true.
It's like saying, oh, you're from LA, so you're an Angels fan. It's like, well,
that's Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, baby.
Or like, oh, you're from LA, so you're a Chargers fan.
Hey, you're from LA. You're a Clippers fan.
Whoa. Actually, that saying you're from LA, you're a Clippers fan is actually more indicative of your LA creds. It's like saying you're from LA, you're an Ice Dogs fan.
First off, the Long Beach Ice Dogs is such that's a moment in time.
Ain't nobody talking when I'm talking. So
Anyways,
I'll give you this one. I'm a big Voids head, so like I kind of lean towards there. But you know, it didn't give me that punch that their last record really did. Whereas I was really impressed by Wild God and Prelude to Ecstasy. I'll just be honest. Like for me, indie this year wasn't singing to me. so to
no,
speak.
it wasn't like alt. Yeah, alt and pop to me were the huge, the really bangers this year, and even some electronica. But to me, it's Prelude to Ecstasy. It's just a beautiful record, and for it to stand at the beginning of the year, and for me to still play it throughout the year when everything else was, coming out throughout the year, says a testament to how good of a record it is. And for a brand new art, like a new artist, new group, very, very good record.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So are we gonna call that one
The winner, the Diddy Spray winner.
yeah. Are we gonna call what are we gonna call that one?
I think that's the dub.
The Wild God?
No, the Prelude to Ecstasy.
Okay, sorry. You said dub, so I thought like W is in
No.
Wild God, but no.
No, like W. There we
Secret
go.
Diddy missed.
Secret
Uh,
Diddy missed.
This is so you mentioned a couple of other genres you were excited about. This is where I got my rocks off this year. On pause. Electronic was, much like a good bosom, it was ample. Much like a singular bosom, it was ample. No. This year, electronic has left a lot to be desired. No. I'm just gonna dip from this entire analogy. But electronic has left a lot to be desired in the sense that it's become a very commercialized genre, in my opinion.
Yeah. It got very bland, and we've been very, very critical of electronic for the entirety of the podcast because it's something that, that even our friendship blossomed of, because you were the only other people I knew at the time in junior high that actually listened to electronic music. Like I grew up listening to house, grew up listening to techno and stuff, and I knew no one else who did. Except your dumbass when I met you and you're like, yeah, I like listen to this and this and Daft Punk. I'm like, how? I'm like, oh, I'm like, you, what the hell?
British,
exactly, European.
But
literally, literally.
And my first year doing this podcast, I went to EDC.
Right.
And it's like like a music festival.
See the things that you do
that.
for this podcast. You got to go with Leah on that one too. So pay your taxes.
Sparky. So like that was an entire whole experience where I did not want to, I've been gone to it like electronic music. I just hit you with that one real quick.
Spine is dying. I just remember, okay, real Audioface heads know when we had a stream and there's like, oh wait, Bird, never forget.
Real Audioface heads remember the threesome stream?
Damn.
I have a reference of what episode that was somewhere in my notes.
There's too much, man. There's so much history of this fucking thing.
Anyways,
any hoozles.
Electronic music has been pretty disappointing, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
For most of the time we've done this podcast, because it should be this big unifying thing that transcends genres and cultures and age. But lately it has been a commercialized, every time I see, it's like every time you go to a brewery and you find out it's run by someone who retired out of the finance industry, or
Mhm.
like someone who's like rich dad did a thing. It's just like you just realize that this is not really an art form so much as it's a crash out for, people who are not all people, but a lot of people who are just like well off and have nothing better to do. And so they come into the spot, just like make a quick buck. And that changes the dynamics of the whole thing. It's like, not to make everything about my history, but the weed world in California used to be like very hippie-ish, and even like the business of it was very, collectives and Hindi,
Mhm.
and sorry, not Hindi, but like hippie and like freedom to you and me type stuff, right? And then once it became from medicinal use to recreational use, to where like you didn't have to get like a fake doctor's note or whatever, and you could just like go somewhere and get it like you would alcohol or gas station boner pills, right? Like once it became more capitalized, you saw less like, oh, these are, you know, indigenous women who have been cultivating this plant for hundreds of years within their family type operations. And you got more of, I'm bringing in my Morgan Stanley, Cantor Fitzgerald consultants, and like we're going to brand this and market this and like make it Photoshop pixel perfect. And just, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that we really watered down the experience of electronic music. What used to be this like
Absolutely.
really down to earth club experiential thing, which then became a product. It then became marketed. It then became, diploified.
Pretty
Um,
much.
that said, that long intro notwithstanding, this is the year where we had three big hitters to come
Absolutely.
in and say, all right, enough with the pussyfooting. This is real electronic music. We had Hyperdrama by Justice, Timeless by Kaytranada, and In Waves by one Jamie XX. None of them need any introduction. None of the artists need any introduction.
It's
None of the. I mean, I can speak. I'll let Sean speak to the albums.
so Justice. I mean, we've been excited for this record for a
It's been
long time.
years.
It's literally been years. This was the electronic version of the Horrors. Um, because you had what Women in 2016, and that was the last Justice record for
No, no,
us.
we.
So we
I think wasn't that like Woman Worldwide? No, that was Woman in 2016, and then we had Woman Worldwide, which I cheated onto Audioface as like a review because I want to review a live album because electronic music had sucked so much.
so that we had to do a live record, but it doesn't count. It's not like an actual Justice release like Hyperdrama is. And this album did not disappoint. This is another one of those records that I've just listened to a lot this year. It came out in spring, I think like around April, May of this year.
Just for
And
Coachella, yeah.
yeah, so April. And just the entire record to me is just beautiful. It like this is to me like where I think I said that in the review where I go, oh no, we still have good electronic music. It's just it takes a justice to make it right. It takes somebody who knows what they're doing, doesn't sell out, makes it because they were some of the pioneers of modern electronic music, and
They made it because they hate you. Not
like
that they hate you, the music listener, but they hate every electronic artist who like got GarageBand on their
yeah,
MacBook Air and decided they're gonna do EDM. And you know what? They got real far. Those Diplos, those SoundCloud EDMs. I don't allow shade to Diplo for whatever reason. I don't care. But like
the
they
Dylan
got a
Francis
lot
of
of
the world.
absolutely. They had it too good for too long. like they got way further than they should have, and we just as a
Absolutely.
kind of like the Drake situation, we just didn't accept the fact that wait, we're not supposed to. We're accepting Hotline Bling out of like nihilism, right? Like we have accepted that we will never have another Nas. We'll never have another Biggie. We'll never have another Tupac. So what we gotta get is this like light skinned fake rapping nigga in order to like do it, right? So
Fake
like
hustling.
we had accepted that electronic music, you know, post you know, Avicii, post Sophie, we had accepted it as crap. And so you should have thought that, you know, so many other artists like tried to just put all that crap to us. It didn't work. Hyperdrama came in. It was just phenomenal. It was just like back to basics. Timeless was I think Timeless and In Waves were a little bit more controversial in the fact that like if you're comparing them to the genre, both of those are different albums, Timeless and In Waves. But if you're comparing them to K Tronada and Jamie XX's discography respectively, they're kind of treading old territory to the fact where like a lot of people I heard who listened to those albums for the first time didn't like them on the first listen because they're like, okay, this sounds like a K Tronada record, not too much different, not too much else. Same with the Jamie XX and Ray's record. I think both were very good and, you know, advances for the 4 years for K Tronada, 10 years something for Jamie XX respectively. They're not like Daft Punk's Random Access Memories big. I don't think anything will ever be that, or at least for a while. But you can't listen to anything else in this genre and take K Tronada and Jamie XX as not the top at this point, frankly.
Right.
From this year. Please let me know if we're wrong. This is not the most complete Audioface Awards list, but I still feel pretty good about it because we did cheat sheets on all the other like best of the years, and nothing in electronic came close to these three. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, all three records were fantastic, right? Like Hyperdrama, I've been listening to it all freaking year. K Tronada's record, god damn, like just it really made me appreciate K Tronada as just a musician, as a producer, everything. Where I'm like, there's very, very few artists that can do that. And then Jamie XX, again, like kind of going back to what I said earlier, you know, In Waves, which came out I think later this year, right? Maybe October or September, around that time. That's again one of those records where I'm like, oh, this year is full of great surprises in the way where I'm like, yeah, even electronic music is good this year. Like, god damn. And this is In Waves is a great record. I've listened to it a lot too. Like Waited All Night with Jimmy XX, Rami Oliver Swim, like the whole XX collaboration on that. That shit goes so hard. Such a good track. And like it made me very happy for this year where I'm like, we finally got some very good electronic music to where I'm like, normally the past several years, it's like one standout record and the other records on the list are okay. This is three standout records where I'm like, shit, I don't even know who to give the award to because I'm like, I feel like they all can win it, which I don't remember last time that's happened for electronic.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, these are all great. I have one standout one though, and that's Justice.
Yeah, Hyperdrama is just the hype and to live up to the hype, which is a very difficult thing to do. And right, like it's the collaborations, right? Like the two tracks with Tame Impala, Never Ender, One Night All Night, like those tracks are fantastic. Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I'm kind of sick of Tame Impala features. Like, I think he has a sound. We get it.
Yeah.
Did you know it's just one guy? Like, you know, like it's.
I honestly agree with that too. Where I think he's like, all right, like I get you on a feature, but I like what Justin did with Tame Impala, right? Like use it to the best of their ability in that way to make it be like, yes, this is Tame Impala, but it fits in the context of the record. Now he can go and sleep and like I don't know, whatever, like go take a vacation. Don't pull a Damon Albarn on here. But like to me, like the highlight for me is Mannequin Love with the Flints. Like that track in the middle, fuck me, so good.
Hey, when you listen to that track, it's like Tame Impala. Hey, that's T.I.
That's T.I. I think that was one of my Steam names at some point.
Definitely was. Really quickly, let's go into best overplayed song, the mainstreamies. And this
There was
time,
two like standout ones though.
yeah, this is like this song was overplayed. We don't hate it though. That's not a word. And this year I think it's a good, a good, clean, wholesome, old-fashioned tie between Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish and Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Both these songs overplayed to shit. I heard them way too much. And you know what? I wasn't necessarily mad anytime I heard them.
I really like Birds of a Feather. Like that's a really good song. It's overplayed as fuck, but sometimes I'll listen. It'll pop up randomly on my shit, and I'll listen to it. I won't skip it.
I think we have best pop in like just a moment, so I'm skipping over a thought, but I just want to make sure I don't miss this. I think one of the people who got robbed the most this year is Billie Eilish.
100%.
Not necessarily through. I say this through like literally through no fault of your own. Like
It's 2024 is the problem.
The crouch jump in any Source 2 video game is the most underrated feature of that whole game, and no one thinks about it, but like everyone relies on it. And we all love it. The control jump feature in like Half-Life 2 or Portal or Team Fortress. We live it, we love it. We couldn't live without it. All right. Billie Eilish, if this album came out in 2023 or 2025, would have blown it out of the water.
But the problem is, it came out 2024 when all the other Boehner pop records came out. And that's
Billie,
the problem.
You have to get on Funkmaster Flex's like news. You have to get on his Push It Back newsletter. Anytime he sends that Push It Back, you gotta listen. Kendrick was releasing this year. Charlie was releasing this year. Yo, I saw
Beyonce.
Beyonce releases, you can't do much about that. And Billie did release pretty close to Beyonce. That does suck. But a couple weeks ago, I saw some screenshots of one of Charlie XCX's close friends. And I imagine this must be like, I'm not going to go there. But she had posted an iMessage screenshot that was like a folder from 2023. And it was Charlie XCX going, "This is my concept for my next project called Brat." And to just have been there in that moment where like in 2023, you're seeing the vision of what's about to happen. Again, Billie, I love you. You got to subscribe to the Funkmaster Flex Push It Back podcast.
Absolutely.
It's like one of those things where like once you see Kendrick doing push-ups and sit-ups by himself, listening to the oldies.
The oldies, you're just like, all right, I'm not gonna touch that.
At that point, it's Drake's fault for not knowing to look at that and not go, I got it. We're done. We can't do it. You just gotta sometimes see your contemporaries when they've entered the avatar state, and it's gotta be like, next year, I'm good. You know what? I'll support you on your world tour, boss. I'll support that world tour, boss. But like, this is not my year. And that's Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish released a generational record. It was just the least best generational record of 2024 when it came to pop. And so we'll get to that in a moment. But it was a competitive year. I will say that I will tie them both. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish and Espresso.
I think they can tie it both. I think it is.
Yeah. So yeah, check them both out. Anyways,
right.
Return to Form
award.
Similar. I'll let you take this. Yeah.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite categories to do. Which some years will have several. Some years will literally just have one, like this one. Because it's, to me, the artists that I've liked in the past, we've liked in the past, that was really good, became shit, and became really good again, right? The type of, the double reverse free Coldplay award, as I like to call it, where Coldplay was really bad, really good, really
Folks,
bad.
One of our best classic Audioface episodes, which is also an indication of what we're probably going to do in the future, is whatever happened with Coldplay.
Yep.
And again, like that was one of my light bulb moments for Audioface as a project where I was like, that's one of our most viewed videos on the Audioface channel. And none of those views came from like the first week or month it came out. It was all like days, weeks, months, years later, where people were collectively on their own music journey and they're like, yeah, what the fuck did happen to Coldplay? And we were right there to be like, here's the answer. And I think that was one of my, as a publisher, like we do this podcast, but then I'll publish it and I'll like look at the metrics and I was like, huh, okay. We're doing really good at that without trying. And that's actually the most fun stuff for us to do. So, you know, that's why we're here. But yeah, that Coldplay episode, which is one of the ones that Sean led, was one of my favorite episodes. One of my favorite episodes, especially that you led in general, which is like, yeah, kind of seeing how Coldplay and other artists figure out how to unsuck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Great Unsucking Award.
Yeah, and this year is just one, which is Foster People.
The reverse hawk, the double reverse unhawktua award.
That's a good one. So I mean, so Foster People, right? Like great alt indie band that came out in the early 2010s, had some pretty decent records.
My kids were very pumped up.
It's rough. I mean, you live in America. Sacred Hearts Club in 2017 was like such a letdown record. That was one of the first. I mean, that was the first year we had this podcast. That was the first year where I was like, oh wow, what the hell is this? Why are you trying to put trap drums in an indie alt band? Like, what the hell is this crap? And it took them nearly seven.
Wait. Was that Doing It for the Money?
Doing It for the Money. Doing It for the Money.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was worst music on Flat Scorched Earth. That's where that came from. I
still remember that. I still remember the hook for that song.
Yeah.
Because it was that bad.
It was so bad. And I was like, what the hell is Foster People doing? They're such a good band. They don't need to do that shit. And they took 7 years. They took their time. They listened. Foster People listens to Audioface, and they released Paradise State of Mind. Granted, I had some EPs that were very good, and think in 2021, 22 around that. That was an indication of what was to come. Yeah, it's 2020 actually. In the Darkest of Nights, Let the Birds Sing. There's a quick 4-track EP that came out. That was fantastic. And with this record, Paradise State of Mind, it was like this really cool, almost like disco-y, alt rock, indie pop record that was really fun, fresh, and sounded great in 2024. It was such a return to form for a band that is capable of doing it. It was a fantastic record. I really enjoyed Paradise State of Mind, and I was ready. I was so ready to shit on this record too. And I first listened to it, I was like, "Oh, here we go, Foster People. Let's do it." And I was like, "Oh, shit! They made a good record. Very, very good record at that. It was good. Very, very good. Such a return to form.
It's about damn time. Let me tell you.
Literally about damn time." All right, and let Dan take this one.
Yeah, I can take this one. This is another one of those like, hey, we probably should have done a better job on this award in general this year. Also, in our defense, I think that neopop, a genre that we call R&B because R&B is a racist genre of music, and it constantly pigeonholes Black people creating pop music, and people of color creating pop music, when white artists, or even artists with fairer skin who are ambiguously white. Looking at you, Ariana Grande rather. But like those traditionally white appearing European appearing artists will take aspects of music and instrumentation from jazz, blues, funk, what is essentially R&B, and they'll just release it and it's called pop music. So I think let's just at least bring the two genres together. That's why we call them neopop on this podcast. That tends to be R&B. And, you know, R&B kind of like trap music has kind of fallen into a malaise of you're not getting a lot of stuff inventive. The people who are doing inventive things in R&B are doing things so inventive that I can't even really call it neopop. So instead,
Right.
what you're getting is I just gotta go into once again Kamasi Washington's keep that horn on me, that Kamasi. Kamasi Washington's Fearless Movement. Which is just, I was listening to it earlier today, just again, because it is such a dense record. And I remember describing it as such when we reviewed it earlier. I want to say like March or April this year, February, March or April this year,
Yeah.
2024 rather. But it's a really dense jazzy record. I mean, you have Asha the First with Thundercat, Taj Austin, Roz Austin, even. A lot of folks just like working on these songs. Computer Love, Dream State with Andre 3000. There's these like really ethereal, thoughtful, 10-minute ass tracks that push jazz and funk and soul and really just the most passionate that you can feel, one can feel with music, a lot of music, together in one. And like not all of it's passionate music. A lot of it's, in the traditional sense of jazz and funk, very chaotic and crazy and for lack of a better term, it's scaring the hose, right? But actually, unlike the traditional scare in the hose sort of like rap music that you think of, there's enough in this that'll absolutely chill the hose out. I mean, Garden Path, Interstellar Peace, Visionary with Terrace Martin, like I said, Dream State, all these songs, like you could really just play it through. And I may or may not be saying this from experience, but you can just play this through on a date and it just goes completely well from start to finish. Depending on the person you're with, and as long as they're a little bit more amenable to your eccentric music taste. But anyways, no, yeah, I think Kamasi Washington, again, I usually would have liked to put, and we have put, not just as a deliberate thing, but just kind of as it happens. But I want to include, more women, other artists from other backgrounds on this thing. But this is just an example of like, hey, it was a rough year. It was a busy year, rather, especially in music. And we only got to what we could. Also, even when we were reviewing some of the, best of lists of the year, there was not a lot of R&B representation, even from those lists, that I felt like was really,
it was definitely a down year for it.
Yeah, I'd heard of some of the albums that other folks were traditionally mentioning. If you want to, honorary mention them in the comments, please do. But to me, the one that I consistently saw, but I also felt earned the Audioface title of best was Kamasi Washington's Fearless Movement. That's what I stand by. So there's that.
There's that.
So shall we get into another juicy one?
Let's do it.
Best pop album. Boop. We have, let's just go really quickly here. Brat by Charlie XCX, Cowboy Carter, Act 2 by Beyonce, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, and Ask That God by Empire of the Sun. I have a lot of questions here. A couple questions here. A couple of these albums we've talked about a little bit. We definitely talked about Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft, which would have been like a breakaway out of the charts, like star-studded album. Yep. The only issue with it is that it came out when it did, like in April or May of one of the most stacked years for white woman-led pop music in a long time. And I'm not just saying this like, this is Earth. White women have been leading pop music since like
arguably
Plain Chant, but at least since like the 1940s and 50s with like doo-wop and that shit, right? So I mean that to say, contemporarily there have been times where white woman pop music, especially as a kid who grew up in the 2000s, that has sucked. there have been times where that has straight up not been a good time. I'm thankful to say that in my adult years, in the 2010s, the 2020s, it has been straight up a good time. But yeah, that being said, Billie Eilish, I'm not even going to run you out of the running here because Sean and I haven't thought this out. And so, we'll see what happens. But, it was a very hard year for what would have otherwise been like Billie Eilish's quintessential queen, you did it record. Yeah. Every single record she releases is her best, and this is no exception. And it's very hard to do that out of the second album curse into your third. And yeah,
it's a damn good record. You have Brat by Charlie XCX, which it's like the sound of the year almost type record, where it's just, it's one of those where it really encapsulates, right, like 2024 as a sound almost, right? Like, it's one of those records, right? It's like a zeitgeisty almost sound in a way where it's like
it got memed to a fault. Unfortunately, like Kamala as Brat will always live with us.
Yep, Kamala's Brat will always, like, that's cursed images, just like Dan with Dave Rubin and Dan with Kamala Harris.
Listen, artists, because we've learned through anything of these last 8 years of the podcast, both no one and everyone listens to this podcast. Artists, if you're listening, never attach your Zeitgeist album to a political campaign.
Never, ever.
The whole point of being an artist, of being a musician, come closer. The whole point of being an artist or a musician is that you transcend time. Is that I can think of Prince, and he's always going to be party like it's 1999, but he's also going to be kind of the 80s, and he's also going to be kind of the aughts. All right. I don't have to think about Reagan or Clinton or Gingrich or the Twin Towers when I think about Prince.
Al Gore. Right?
Sean, it's already late enough. Don't make me fall asleep. But
like if I'm listening to Kid A, I'm not thinking, or Amnesiac, I'm not thinking about Al Gore, right?
The Brooks Brothers.
I am thinking though about how Bush stole Florida, but
okay, hold on. That's Hail to the Thief. We don't get that's on a future Audioface. That's on the Audioface 20-part miniseries on Hail to the Thief. Part 1.
Season 3 of Hail to the Thief.
And now, episode 31 on the second song on Hail to the Thief.
Jesus. No. It's this problem. It's like it's that to me is like the one detractor of it is it feels like it's such a 2024 record in that way where it's like I'm always
it's the love it if we made it effect. We're like, it's a beautiful record, but unfortunately it leaned too much into the moment, I guess. And it became a record of, I would love to really listen to Brief Inquiry outside of 2018 or 2017 or that time, but it's just always going to be stuck. Yeah, it's always going to be stuck in that era for me. And Brat, to be fair, I don't think fully suffers from that. I think it's just the memification of the album Brat. Yeah. But I think the album itself, like many of my favorite albums this year, is like all of my most messiest bitches from my early 20s just deciding that they decided to have got their shit together and want to start families, which is slightly relatable. Cowboy Carter, Act 2 by Beyonce. Again, like Sean and I had a lot of debate about this as it came out. Is it a country record? No. Is it a pop record? No. Yeah. Is it Beyonce's pop country record? Absolutely. And is it well executed in that regard? I would definitely say so. I think a lot.
Absolutely. It really is. It's, an artist who's been around for decades and really is like, to me with Cowboy Carter.
Can we ask Jay-Z how old was he when he first discovered Beyonce? Just an instant question. I don't know why. I just asking questions.
So you got the Diddy spray out?
I do, but even our lawyers are like, "Oh no, fuck Jay-Z, we're done."
We cannot still go with the Jigga Man. It's like, hey, who you on with? Oh, who is it today? The Jigga Man. Sorry, we're out. Sorry, bro.
We're done.
Sorry, Roy.
Carl who? Sorry, my name's Rudy Giuliani. You're fine.
But Cowboy Carter is a great record. It's, really solidifies this, 3-part record trilogy that she started with Renaissance of 2022, which was the electronic version. You have Cowboy Carter, and then you have one more that's supposed to come out in a couple years of it.
Beyonce is gonna release a Fleet Foxes record. It's gonna be so funny.
Dude, I'm so down for her to do some weird Baroque folk pop music.
Beyonce's
I'm for
legit gonna make weird fishes.
Dude, I'm so down for Beyonce's Helplessness Blues record. Like, I'm so down.
Beyonce's gonna make podcasts for. Beyonce's gonna make music for dudes who have smelly rooms. Like, that's gonna be her next move.
Oh shit, that's great. Oh no,
Jay-Z's coming for all our money.
No, next thing you know, it's gonna be Beyonce featuring Robin Pecknold.
No.
Actually,
the day Sean and I become alleged domestic terrorists is the day that we see a Beyonce song with Jack Antonoff on the credits.
Oh Christ! Oh no! All right, but Cowboy Carter is a really good record. Cowboy Carter is very good. I really wanted to hate it. I really wanted to hate it, and I was like, this is good. This is very good pop country, and out of left field in a way for Beyonce, but it still sounds like her, and it does justice to the tropes and stuff that she was trying to make within the record. I'm trying to make this short because it's already 9:48, and I'm
yeah. I'm also trying to make this. Let me. I promise I'll make these. I want to ask you about "Ask That God" by Empire of the Sun and why we're putting it in pop. I can see why, but I want to hear your thought. But I just want to say that, like, to move really quickly through the other two, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan. Let me just tell you right now, this is an honorary mention pick. It's not going to win for the only purpose is that it was released in 2023. It was released in 2023, but Chappell Roan had her amazing moment in 2024, and it wasn't even released in like December 2023 where we could have like lawyered it.
It was like mid 2023. It's like
autumn,
summer.
like fall. Yeah. So, that being said, Chappell Roan had her moment in 2024 and also became a pop artist in her own, who wasn't just like, I'm a pop artist who's going to, appeal to all the things and check all the boxes in a way that maybe honestly like a Sabrina Carpenter or even a Beyonce might. But she's going to be an artist who is purposely very campy, purposely very, queer, purposely very just because I'm a celebrity doesn't mean you're entitled to me and get to like be all up in my shit type of person. It's been great. It's been awesome to see. It's been kind of awesome to see like a real person who ends up being a celebrity, which is kind of who I find end up being my favorite celebrities, not the other way around. Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. I kind of have to take this at face value. I mean, quotes that are going to get Dan in trouble in the future. I kind of agree with someone who I follow on Twitter who said that for men who are swoon on over Sabrina Carpenter, please relax. You can find her at your local Target.
That's great.
Listen, I'll be honest. Like there's a lot of people who are saying like Sabrina Carpenter is like the hottest woman you've ever seen. I'm like, go outside. This is no dig on Sabrina Carpenter. I'm just saying maybe I'm spoiled by living in LA. I see like 5 Sabrina Carpenters every day. And that's just not my type, frankly. But I'm just saying maybe y'all should touch grass. It turns out there are lots of skinny white blondes in America. You'll be fine. But that being said, I think Sabrina Carpenter does a good job of, you have to fit a kind of like, motif for pop. Yeah, a mold for pop. Her album Short and Sweet was kind of like just that. I mean, I feel like she performs the mold very well in like a Betty Boop kind of way. Like it's not supposed to be too much more than what it is. Like, yes, this is hot girl doing very basic, pop songs. This is like, if Ariana Grande or Dua Lipa. I mean, I won't say Dua Lipa because Dua Lipa is like, I think she's properly talented. Ariana Grande, Sean, your band. But
Can't say anything. I saw Wicked, and I just had to sit there and just hold my tongue the whole time.
due to the conditions of black people. Yeah, I have nothing necessarily positive or negative to say about Sabrina Carpenter. What I think should be just that. What I mean to say is Empire of the Sun. I think you could put them in rock. I think you put them in pop. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why you put them here, and then let's
Because
decide.
they're pop. I'd say they're more a pop duo than anything. I would say, like, if you wanted to, you could say electronic, but I'd say they're more like a pop group, and they've been that since Walking on a Dream in 2008. I've loved Empire of the Sun since that record.
I fully agree with you, and Ghost producer Kyle would definitely put them in pop as well, because me and him have seen Empire of the Sun together, thankfully,
and I'm fucking jealous as shit.
But they'll be in California, and I won't be this year, so you can definitely check them out. But
Sure. Fucking everybody's leaving me.
The issue that I have, yeah, it's just one of those things where like it's on the line. It's so perfectly on the line. Where like, pop, rock, indie, alternative, neo pop, these things get on the line. So I can grant you that. But
yeah, that's my
what you
thing.
like about the album?
But it's a damn good record, right? For another group, a duo that have been together for a long time and have made fucking pop bangers for decades, right? I mean, Walking on a Dream, We Are the People, Alive, you've all heard these songs, right? Like, they're still being played, even though they were released in 2008. They're still overplayed, nearly 30 years later, which is kind of crazy to think. I'm gonna die, or 20 years. But with Ask That God, you have, Changes, Cherry Blossom, Music on the Radio, the first 3 tracks. I was like, God damn, they still got it. Even though, right, Two Vines came out in 2016, right before we started the podcast. That was a very good record as well. Ask That God just really solidifies them as a great pop electronic duo, where every record they do, it's interesting, it's fresh in the decade that it's made in, and it's they keep evolving themselves as avant-garde artists and stuff in the way that they evolve each concept, each sound or whatnot, and it really solidifies them as one of my favorite duos. And this record's just damn good. Another one that I came back to a lot this year, and I heard quite a bit around. Like, I heard Cherry Blossom quite often around in random places and stuff, and it was one of those like, man, this is a great pop track. And the whole album, they came out maybe midsummer or something this year. So, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this record, and I think it deserves to be up there. Even though, like, it ain't gonna win because there's a lot of shit going on, but I think it definitely deserved to be nominated on it because of how good of a pop record it is.
We need a sub pop awards called the That Dog Ain't Gonna Hunt awards.
Oh, now that dog just ain't gonna
hunt. Yeah. Can I just tell you, just shooting from the hip, what my answer is?
Go ahead.
Brat.
Yeah, I was gonna give it. I was gonna do Brat, honestly.
Do you have a runner up?
Billie Eilish should be my runner up.
Oh, yeah. I'd say Cowboy Carter is like a close.
It's close. It's between those two, honestly. But
yeah, Bunny Hopper sure. Dan gotta pick Sabrina Carpenter as my number one now.
I'm gonna just
Bam. Right, Bam. That one was for you. But yeah, Brat as number one, and Hit Me Hard and Soft by Charlie XCX Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish is number 2. Brat by Charlie XCX is number 1. Mm-hmm. Sean William Award for doing something fucking different.
So I had one. Yeah. I didn't realize that we nominated Jev, and I'm glad we did, for best trap rap record. So Jev is just an honorary mention because I fucking told you so. That's the random rap artist that I found in like 2022 or something like that, where I was like, listen to this guy, and then he made a damn good record. Ray Khalil.
Literally.
Ray Khalil, another artist that I recommended on here, dropped a damn good record this year too. And an artist who I feel like is really coming into her own, especially with with Crybaby that came out, and that album was just very good. I mean, you had some really you had a bit was produced from Anderson Paak, and had Know You with Anderson Paak. You had Carpinteria with Freddie Gibbs. Like, those tracks are fantastic, and the whole record in general was very good. And I'm excited to see, the future for Ray Khalil, and really want to see her shine and get more and more credit that she deserves. This Crybaby is a damn good record. And then lastly is Childish Gambino. I'm a, in it. I know you're a big ant. I know you're a big ant on Childish Gambino, but I really like Band of Stone and The New World. Like, I really like that record. I wanted, with all the fiber of my being, to hate it. I wanted to absolutely rip it a new one. It was one of those.
I did like it too when it came out in 2020.
Oh, that. But in summer of 2024, when this came out officially, I was like, this is a good record. I really wanted to just dog on Childish Gambino as much as I could, but no, I'm like, you know what? Credit where credit's due. And I ended up listening to it quite a bit, was the thing. So, but those are my picks.
Do you have a winner? I mean, this is not your honorable mention. So technically, okay,
it's not. There's no winner. Those are just like, hey, I listened to them. Am I not nominated to them or whatever because I've been busy and fucking burnt out, depressed to do anything, and so those are just the ones that like really came into mind of what I've been listening to this year. On top of the other records and stuff, and the double favorite Zionists ever as well, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yo, shout out to Burnout and Depression. Let's go winter. Best season of the year.
Oh, 2024, taking my soul and my money.
They can fuck with your friends, your health, and scary enough, even your money.
Even your money.
It's a disease. Okay. This traditionally is one of the hardest albums to pick. So let's do it. Folks, this is your Audioface 2024 albums of 2024. Best rap/trap album. We have the 1987 Buick Grand National by Kendrick Lamar. We have Worldwide Whack by Tierra Whack. We have When Angels Cry by Jev, period. We have King of the Mischievous South Volume 2 by Denzel Curry. Samurai by Lupe Fiasco. I'm going to go with Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco. Sugar, Honey, Iced Tea by Lotto. I Laid Down My Life For You by JPEG Mafia. Shadowbox by Mavi. And Chuck's notes, Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doichi.
This is one of the hardest years. There's so much good trap rap.
Listen, let me eliminate from the bottom to be
all right.
Timely, not suspenseful, but also timely. Sugar Honey Iced Tea by Lotto. Listen,
good record.
2024 has seen a renaissance of female rap artists in a way that like no year was before. Because it used to be where like female rap artists was like, okay, we have women in rap again who are really good. Yeah, sure, they're all like strippers, and like there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a certain archetype of rap where like, if we're to say that strippers is to female rap, what like the gangster is to male rap, it's an archetype, like the street sort of like that sort of world of rap is an archetype, and it's not fully rap. Tupac, Biggie were able to kind of ride multiple versions of this world. A lot of artists have been able to, right? Later, in fact, in later years, you've been able to see artists kind of come back around where they start as like backpack rappers, like, you know, your Tyler the Creators, your Kendricks, right? And they turn around to surprise you and be like really, really good with this. Also, how did I not include this? Chromacopia by Tyler the Creator.
Wait, we didn't put Chromacopia in there? Oh my god.
Somehow we missed Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia, which it's fine that I'm slipping it on last minute because I know Sean and I listened to the dog shit out of that record.
Dude, I listened.
We did not need to prep for that one.
Like that one, I don't even need to listen. I just like it's getting sticky in this bitch.
All right, so like, I think Tyler, Doechii, JPEG Mafia, Mavi, Denzel Curry, everyone but maybe Latto on here, honestly, and maybe Lupe Fiasco, but just barely, only because of time. But like, everyone on this list for me is on here because they're fundamentally like
good.
They're good. They're good rappers, but they're versatile, right? Like they can do street, they can do books, they can do, you know, hood, they can do lyrical, miracle, spiritual. Like they can do all these types of rap all in one together and tell a cohesive story with all of them. And they all do unique stuff throughout them all too. Again, except for Latto. I think Latto, of all the, you know, Sexy Red, Ice Spice rappers of this year, I think I like Latto the most. But yeah, I think again, we're just dancing around this fact that not to be pejorative, but you know, like stripper rap, it's on its way out. Like, you know, City Girls and JT and that whole thing. Like, I think Sexy Red's gonna survive this because Sexy Red has shown that she can be quirky and also kind of like strippery, which is like weirdly a different thing in rap that I think, you know, Doechii, Meg the Stallion, they're opening up borders and like, okay, you can be Meg the Stallion, like does stripper rap for sure, but she also did an entire album that's basically for like all the anime girlies.
Like versatile is a thing.
Exactly, yeah. Doechii, same thing. Like she sounds like Rico Nasty half the time doing like screamo rap, and then she's also like doing this really good like calling back to hip hop and the classic sort of thing. So they're all really doing it. But yeah, Latto I eliminate. Lupe Fiasco, great album, but Lupe Fiasco is a little bit of a backpacker old head, and we've got so much new heat on here that I just can't really ignore it. Here's my first controversial, I think, elimination. GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Dude, like
I know who I want to win on this. Like to me, it's two.
Okay, well, let's keep eliminating, but let's just is GNX one of them? Okay, so
as much as I like that record,
I like this record. I like
really
Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar is in rare form right now. I think the clinic that he is running on Aubrey Drake Graham is generational, something that I'm going to tell my niece and nephew about long after they are sick of hearing it. All right. I also don't think it's
also
Kendrick's
there is
best
an album of the year award that we still need to talk about, but this is best rap trap record.
And it's probably going to be like 3 of these. It's very hard, all right? But like GNX doesn't even feel like a Kendrick album to me. It feels like a mixtape.
I don't got time for that to discuss that right there because
That's
I
fair.
get me into tropes. Even though Dodger Blue goes hard, you know, from us being from, you know, the the greater LA basin.
I'll say it like this. Kendrick Lamar's last albums have been so like, this is about society. This is about therapy. These are about deeper things and what you deal about in rap. GNX was a good old fashioned turf war rap record. And listen, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that coming from the best. but I'm just saying that Kendrick Lamar can do and has done better. I think this just had to be
Because,
released
like,
because
Mr.
it's playing the Super Bowl.
Morale was like, God
Even
damn, that
Damn,
was-
which I criticized Damn for being like,
I think GNX
okay,
is better than them, but
absolutely, yeah. But like, I consider Damn to be like a more commercial play rather than like being, you know, deep.
yeah,
But it still had its deep moments. Still, not hitting it. I think for the sake of speeding this up, Sean, let's name what your favorite two are.
Chromacopia
Chromacopia, and what about the other one?
and Jeff.
Okay.
So those are the two to me for a genre that we have been extreme critical of rap / trap, where we've throughout the whole year of 2024 kept saying rap is dead, trap is dead over and over and over again. Got these records late in the year, and I was like, oh shit, never mind, it's still alive. We still have some guys that are putting it on, and those two to me, with Tyler Creator and with Jeff, were the two standout rap records where I'm like, I'm so interested in this genre. All the other records I genuinely like a lot, and I have listened to a lot. I've listened to GNX a shit ton, right? And I think it's a contender for album of the year, which we'll get to in a little bit. But with Chromacopia and with Jev's record, those are the two where I'm like, I am interested in what these guys can do more with. Like, there's so much sound and so much substance in those two that I'm like, I want more. Which for rap is saying something, because I didn't want more than that. We were saying, we're like, dude, we're done. We don't review trap records anymore, right?
We literally stopped this year.
We stopped. Like, you had 21 Savage, one of our favorite rappers, release a record this year, and we both just went,
Not even Podium.
like, extreme, like not even close. Like, it was so disappointing, right? But those two records,
American Dream, more like American Hit Snooze until you
more like
oversleep
Donald
your
Trump
day
gonna
job.
deport my cars.
Okay, not to belabor this conversation any longer, but I think this is the most interesting rap of the year when we've ever done. I respect your choices, but I stand 10 toes down in disagreeing with both of them.
Ooh,
My
okay.
two picks for this year are Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii and King of the Mischievous South Volume 2 by Denzel Curry.
So King of the Mischievous South Volume 2 is fantastic. Alligator Bites Never Heal, I have not listened to enough, is the problem.
That's fair. Here, let me make the quick pitch for both. Alligator Bites Never Heal is everything you like about Chromacopia plus. It has the artistic, nature. Like, Chromacopia is Tyler hitting on all cylinders. It's Sweetest Taboo, you are on rare form. But we've been saying on this podcast that women in rap are like pushing the way forward.
Are you really gonna play identity politics with me on
No,
Audioface?
no,
I love it. I'm so
not.
down. Let's
no,
go.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I know, I know. But you listen to Alligator Bites Never Heal, and you hear something that you have to realize that Tyler probably felt deep down in his soul, but will never admit because of the politics. I think Tyler featured Doechii so heavily on Chromacopia because Tyler started hearing Alligator Bites and was like, oh shit, I'm cooked. Because Doechii is doing the quirky, weird, edgy LA shit that Tyler did, but differently and as a woman and newer and faster and more bited and honestly and a little bit more talented in a way, in that she is jumping quicker to doing all of Tyler the Creator's shock things, but also calling back to like rap's gracious and wonderful history and pushing forward and doing that all at once. Because I listened to her previous record and then I listened to Alligator Bites and I'm like, this is the difference between Section 80 and To Pimp a Butterfly. This is rare form. Like, you are not, Sean. I implore you to listen to this album once you get the chance to again. And again, it's not Sean's fault. We put this together last minute, and I literally put Doechii together like 3 hours before we started recording. So he had heard it before, but hadn't deep dove into it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Dochi's
I don't
great.
think
Okay.
I don't think we reviewed this record. So
Yeah, we ended up not doing it. It was in August. We skipped past it. But no, I've listened to the whole thing. I've gone through it multiple times. I'm like, this is how I felt listening to Damn. This is how I felt listening to Kendrick albums, honestly. And yeah, I mentioned Dochi. Denzel Curry, I put that over Jeff. And even over Tierra Whack, because I think Dochi does the Tierra Whack cool stuff, like the weird stuff that I'm trying to get at. Denzel Curry hits at the point of Audioface. I'm sorry, the point of rap and Audioface that we're just never going to be able to do, which is that Denzel Curry is tapping into regional Southern rap. And the future of rap is not going to be who's trending. It's not going to be who Drake puts on in his videos. The future of rap is regional. We're going to see this confederation of rap music where it's not SoundCloud anymore. It's like LA is going to have their group of rappers. The Bay Area and San Francisco is going to have their group of rappers. St. Louis, Atlanta, Nolans, Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, etc., New York. Every region is going to have their own group of rappers because social media is how rap grows now. And social media is becoming more and more and more AI driven. Shout out, Miles, but also like very hyper localized. And so I've been hearing about, hey, Dan, you got to check out so and so. You got to check out so and so. And I'm like, who the hell is this? And I realized, oh, they are the shit. They are the biggest rapper ever in this one hood. Outside of this hood, you never heard of him. But if you're in this hood, you're really good at it. And it goes back to what rap used to be about this, like, okay, hip hop, it started out on the block. Not to be on that, like, hypey stuff, but like the reason hip hop had the appeal was because people who are fans of it were able to relate to people who grew up in their neighborhoods. And SoundCloud, like Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott and Lil Nas X and Uzi Vert were like the end of history for rap music in the sense of like, here is the most abstract, the most distant from the genre it can possibly be. We're hitting that point kind of like we did in EDM, where it's like, okay, we've reached the end of EDM. It's as capitalistic and as hypey-typey as possible. We're going to get the backlash, and the backlash is now this new underground thing. And the new underground is only represented in Denzel Curry's record and only represented as thoroughly and as like well produced and polished in the mainstream level as Denzel Curry's record. So I picked Doichi and Denzel Curry because I think they're not only, maybe not the best, but they're both the best and the future of rap. Whereas Tyler, the Creator, and Jev, I agree, are the best for today. But I think we're going to look back and go, that was a great sound for the mid 2020s. Dochi and Denzel Curry, maybe. I think we're going to look back at them and their releases in 2024 and go, they paved the groundwork for what came the next 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. That's my take on it. Maybe that's just going to be like the ultimate tie on this one because I think we made good points for both. But yeah, I think Deutsch. You're sprickens a Deutsche. Dochi and Denzel Curry are definitely parts of the future of rap, but also Jev and Tyler, the Creator, are by no means the past. I think all four of the artists we mentioned are like the future of the genre.
I mean, yeah.
Let's run it. Let's make it. Let's go to an easier category. Best rock and alternative. We have Wall of Eyes by The Smile, aka Secret Radiohead. We have, oh wow, look at this, Cutouts by The Smile. 2 albums by Secret Radiohead. We have Loss of Life by MGMT. We have Where's My Utopia? Radiohead by MGMT. Sorry, by Yard Act.
By Yard Act. Yeah.
We have Romance by Fontaines DC, and we have, inshallah, Mahash Mashana by Father John Misty. Mahash Mashana by Father John Misty. These are our rock and alternative albums. We've got to say that The Smile is an interesting case where we usually don't put 2 albums by one artist in 1 year in one category. Also, we've never had this situation before where one really great artist releases two albums that are not necessarily clearly double albums, that are both very good in the same year.
And they're very different and very, very good in the same year. And I'm like, well, they just lawyered us.
Unfortunately, Sean, you might have forgotten, but Tom York and Johnny Greenwood are both Zionists. So I'm going to have to consider the other 4 records.
We're going to have to consider the following. I'm just going to look past that one. Damn good records, though. Like, it's just... Right.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Wall of Eyes, I really enjoyed from the Smile, and I thought like those songs were really going to take me through the year. And if you remember, I put off listening to Cutouts because I was like, I didn't like the first 2 songs immediately. I felt like this is the moment where like, yo, they're making so much music so fast. We've seen this before. Artists get way ahead of their skis and it doesn't end up sounding good. And ultimately, I did end up liking Cutouts not substantially more than Wall of Eyes, but I can't call them double albums. I mean, maybe you could, but like
they're honestly they're very separate in the way that they don't fit. It's not like shit. Who made that?
Foals.
It's not like
everything not saved will be lost. Yeah.
Where they've specifically said, hey, we don't want to release it as a double album, but it is a double album, so we're going to space it throughout the year. That's one thing. Yeah. But Wall of Eyes and Cutouts are very different projects in the way that they don't like. They sound like the Smile, but they don't fit.
Yeah, and I ended up liking it could be recency bias, but I ended up liking the second one more because of honestly the range. I didn't like the first couple of songs in Cutouts when I first listened to them because they were so different from what I'm used to from Secret Radiohead. But even though I think, again, reverse double on recency bias, I think because of the fact that Wall of Eyes came out in February, I've listened to so many of those songs on repeat, and I have such a relationship to songs like, I Quit, for example. But my experience of listening to Cutouts, and I did both of these Smile records the way I've done Smile records and the way I've done my favorite records, which is I listen to these when I'm on vacation in a Formula One outside my house. Cool.
All right.
You give the ghetto some V6s and this is what you got. No, but yeah, in every single case, thankfully, I've listened to a Smile record while I've been on a really good, somewhat emotionally life-changing vacation for me. And so I think I've had a good level of Smile records. And Cutouts next to A Light for Attracting Attention, which I believe was the first one.
Yes.
I'd say Cutouts and Attracting Attention Light are tied for me. And Wall of Eyes is behind that. And it's hard to say this is the worst Smile record because it's all good. Other than the fact they're Zionists. But
other than the fact god damn it. But cutouts, the run of Zero Sum, Colors Fly, Eyes and Mouth, and Don't Get Me Started, the run of those 4 is just I said this during the review. It's I legit got emotional because I'm god damn, they really still got this. They're producing amazing alternative in the year 2024, even though they're one of the artists that literally invented the fucking genre in the 90s.
TF2 Soldier Voice, they invented it and then they perfected it so no one would best them in the Ring of Honor.
Literally, and they're just now doing it for fun. They're just dancing around because fuck it, we're bored. And the other members are having family.
It's when you have 5 stars in GTA 5, but the cops can't catch you because you have all the cheats on.
It's literally what it is. And it's such a good record.
While you're playing GTA 5, you can't shake off the fact that you are sending billions of dollars in weapons to an apartheid state. That's kind of what the Smile is.
It's what you got to do, man. You got to pay the cost of doing business. You got to bomb some Gazans here or there. You got to settle the West Bank. You got to, go over to Syria, take some more territory. But
as long as Johnny
you gotta
Greenwood's hag wife is happy, we're all good. I also liked the MGMT record. I thought that Loss of Life, which again, Sean, speaking of Dan making sure that Audioface never has any guests again. There's old heads on Audioface will remember that time I pissed off the leader of MGMT.
No. You pissed off Christopher Gonzalez of M83 is who you pissed off.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
even
they all
worse.
sound the same to me.
Well, one is French and one is definitely American. So, but they're all hipsters at the end of the day.
So one's French and one's Quebecois.
Lost of Life is a good record. I mean,
Good.
definitely very different compared to Little Dark Age in 2018, which was a banger of a record. It's one of those that took a long time for me to really like, but I ended up very much enjoying it. It came out early this year, or last year, I should say, because we're in 2025 now, in like February. It's a slow burn, but I think it was a very good alternative record that came out. And for a group like MGMT, they're always reinventing themselves. No, not one album is the same, and that's something that I really, really like with them.
Yeah. Where else? Where's My Utopia by Yard Act? I've been loving Yard Act ever since we started listening to them. I don't know. I love me some good like modern punk, like whatever this like post-punk thing that we've got going on is, from Yard Act, from Idols, from
There's Idols. Did we put Idols in here?
We didn't. I'm happy to put them as like an honorable mention, but even though I liked their record, and shout out whoever produced their record who also produced the
No,
Vince
Scott,
Staples track.
Nigel Godrich.
No, Nigel Godrich produced it, but wasn't it also Kenny Beats?
Kenny
I thought
Beats
Kenny
and
Beats
Nigel
from the
Godrich.
Idols. Yeah. Honorable mentions. Let's run them for the honorable mentions for sure. Let me just add that there. But yeah, Fontaine's DC, they've been one of my favorite bands lately. Romance was phenomenal. Let me tell you, I'll be honest here, and I don't know how to choose this except for the fact that I kind of just don't want to choose the Zionists just on principle.
I know it's hard, but it's also like, fuck, God, that's so good.
Father John Misty's record snuck up on me. He's also
it's so good.
He's also a noted non-contributor to the Push It Back podcast because every time Father John Misty releases, it's like very close to when Kendrick drops. And literally it happened again this time where like Mahash Mashana dropped around the same time GNX dropped. And
then
even
McClody
Father
in the
John
next 20th century came out like right around when Mr. Morale came out too.
And I think the same thing happened around Damn and like his 2017
Pure
records,
Comedy.
I remember.
Pure Comedy and Damn came out, I think, on the same day. Same month for sure. It was April 2017. I remember that. And Pure Comedy was a good record.
If I way too much Audioface inside baseball. Former Audioface co-host Tammy used to work for a newspaper, and she got to interview Father John Misty for this album. Yeah, she got to interview him for this album rollout. I remember actually.
You did what? Damn. The fuck?
I'm pretty sure because I remember her talking a lot about this on her beat, or at least someone she was working with did, or at least she got to go to like the music festival in the area that we were in to see him and go backstage because I remember her talking about that a lot. But no, like Father John Misty has been cooked by Kendrick more than Drake. Honestly.
The irony of
like
that.
Father John Misty has a harder beef with Kendrick than Drake. Father John Misty should literally be suing his record label. It has a better case than Drake. But no, I had to listen to this album again and realize, oh, all of the earworms I've had for the past couple of months are from this album. Like, yeah, I don't have it in front of me right now because I've been flipping through albums so quickly, but so many of the Father John Misty records that I was listening to just before even starting this, I was like, Oh, I've just had these in my head, like Screamland and She Cleans Up, and even the title track himself. These have just
The
been in
title
my
track
head.
is gorgeous. It's a nearly 10-minute piece, which I don't let people get away with often, and it's such a beautiful opening title track. Like that one really blew me out of the water. I was like, wow, okay, Father John Misty's back. Because the past couple records I thought were like God's Favorite Customer in 2018 and Chloe in the Next 20th Century were okay. So there's some good parts here or there, but Mahash Mashana was the first one really since Pure Comedy and I Love You Honey Bear, which is also one of my favorite records from him, that where I'm like, oh yeah, he's back and made a beautiful alternative record in the year 2024. It's just really solidified at the end of that year, that and GNX of this is like, we need to stop doing this goddamn podcast because that's it. Like they did the damn thing.
Sensational. What are we gonna do with this?
Tremendous. I mean, I don't. I mean, shit, I want to give it a cutouts, but on principle because Syria just fell. I can't like. I don't want to give it to the Zionists, but like, Secret Zionists are really good. I mean, honestly, it's hard. This to me is the hardest one because I think all of them on their own rights can win it. That's the problem. I've listened to all of these records a lot, and I like all of them. Stan's trying to unfuck his life.
I'm sorry. No. I'm listening. I just found. No, sorry. I'm gonna take this off air. This is so good. I'm gonna take this off air. This is inside. I'll talk about it later. But this is so funny. Anyways, any of these could work. I'm not gonna give it to the Zionists. If it were me, I would narrow it down in between MGMT and Fontaines DC.
Interesting.
I think both of
I would
them,
give it
yeah.
to Fontaines DC. I think out of to me it's between Father John Misty and Fontaines DC. So
Okay.
now if we're doing that, then it's Fontaines DC. And I Romance is a fantastic record.
I could live with that. They're on my list of artists to see live. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
what's the track? Starburster. There you go. That shit was like on repeat for a long time this year.
Yes. Dusk to Dawn, everybody.
Oh, Nelly.
From Dusk to Dawn, the Mugshot Awards. As folks know, from Dusk to Dawn, as I saw at EDC. This is From Dusk to Dawn is the slogan for EDC. I saw a totem with Tiger Woods' mugshot on it, and so since then, it's been the Mugshot Awards.
Never
we start with
It's Till Dawn.
We start with Glorilla.
Ooh.
We move on to Nicki Minaj, who was arrested in Amsterdam. And it's really hard.
That.
It's really hard to get mugshots from other countries because other countries don't have the American law of like, you're arrested, we take your photo, we post it online. So
that's a good mugshot. Like that's a good one.
Nicki Minaj, you're on rare form.
That's a good one.
Sexy Red, who had the brawl at my hometown Newark Airport, who unfortunately unfortunately I couldn't get a mugshot for you, but I have a photo even better, which is security cam footage with a TMZ watermark in the middle.
Oh.
Chan, chan, chan.
Gotta love Newark.
We have Travis Scott. Oh, sorry. We have Justin Timberlake for this is totally gonna ruin the tour. Hey man.
That was so good. That was so good.
I could have done better. Travis Scott.
Just like crying in there. Like that's so funny.
Travis Scott for disorderly conduct in Miami. I'll remind you that he turned this mugshot into a t-shirt like Trump did.
He did shoot her with him smiling.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's the photo of him smiling on it. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Da-da-da. Let's hit him with the community chest. Hold on, right here. Right there.
Yes, yes.
With the shirt saying "It's Miami" with the Cactus Jack logo on the side.
That's kind of hard.
And of course, Travis Scott. We don't have this mugshot because it's from Paris, but he earned himself the rare Double Dare 2000 of the mugshot awards, which is Sean would have never let me live it down if I got the Double Dare 2000 mugshot awards in 1 year.
Oh my god! If you got fucking 2 mugshots in a year, it would.
First of all, the state of California probably wouldn't have let me live that down. But second of all, you definitely wouldn't have.
I mean, it would be like the amount of harassment I would do to you. Like we would have to end our friendship. Like that would be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Getting kicked in the balls back just verbally for years. And lastly, but not leastly, oh yes, just Nelly.
Yeah.
For ecstasy possession and lack of insurance. The old lack of insurance.
Lack of insurance. Yes.
Didn't we have
wallet biopsy?
Didn't we have someone who like just got it right before we went like live this year? I forget. I also don't care. It's fine. You're all going to jail. What's the best mugshot?
Oh shit. I mean, my favorite's JT just because he's crying in it. Like that's like that should have gave him an NLB award. Or no.
Oh no, dude. I'm sorry, I forgot. Live, local, and late breaking. Joe Budden. Remember he went like naked streaking?
God, yeah, that's right. We covered that?
We didn't cover it, and the mugshot is so hard to find. There we go. Fucking Neighborhood Talk has it, but there we go.
That's a real fucking mugshot.
So apparently Joe Budden has like a sleepwalking issue, and he like walked past his neighbor's house not butt naked, buck ass naked.
Yeah.
Joe Budden just like, I'm not saying he rose up to the top, but
he's definitely up there.
It's gonna be Joe Budden and Sexy Red for me.
Let me see Sexy Red.
I mean,
well, but Sexy Red doesn't actually have. We don't have the mugshot though, so that's disqualified.
Yeah, but we have the security camera footage, and that's almost better.
I mean, the security. Hold on.
I mean, listen,
bro, her with the fucking pole hitting people.
We can't show. So, like, you know, if we really wanted to play that game, Glorilla flashed her titty on the body cam. And that should absolutely win the award, but I think we should have some standards.
It's not just flash a titty and DUI, to be fair. It's 2 in 1.
Professionals have standards.
That one's so funny, though. Yeah, fuck it. Let's give it Sexy Red. That's a good one.
Sexy Red.
That's a good
one. It's getting sticky.
It is getting sticky in here.
Okay. You want to skip that? You want to skip that one for time and for sanity? Let's just say the hard R word for bigotry in music. Even though Kanye West has gone on routine anti-Semitic rants, the only reason he's not winning, well, 2 reasons. Number one, most of those anti-Semitic rants were in 2023, so you know, fair's fair. Number 2, DJ Khaled routinely posting himself eating platters of gourmet food while his fellow Palestinian people are having a little bit of let's not be unfair, Sean. Let's just say that the Palestinian people are having trouble finding the kind of gourmet food that DJ Khaled can find. Let's just leave it at that. Let's be fair. Let's just be fair. Okay, let's just, let's not be anti-Semitic and say that, Palestinians are being, enslaved and treated like unpeople or anything. Let's just say that they don't have the same access, the same poo platters that DJ Khaled gets. And that's gonna be his thing. So yeah, he gets the hard R award for bigotry in music for that. The woke award. You want to go through this really quickly too, because to me it's pretty clear. Even though Hosier's has been pretty affirmative on being free Palestine, I personally got to give it to Yassine Bey, Most Def.
I mean, literally, because what happens when this all
for
collapses?
He was the Cat Williams of music. He said in the beginning of the year, like, what happens when this all collapses? Much like Cat Williams was like, hey, 2024 is going to be the year of discovery and retribution, and all is going to be revealed. Yassine Bey said what was already in the culture before Kendrick made it mainstream.
Right. Kendrick
had to make it mainstream to prove to Drake's mainstream heads that it could happen, and B, just be like, this is what it is. So yeah, thank you, Most Def. He's gonna be releasing an album with The Alchemist, I think, later this year.
Yep.
And
yep.
We didn't mention it earlier, unfortunately, so it's not gonna work well in the clip, but we'll still come out of retirement and maybe we'll do from like, hey Sean, we have 3 albums that makes it's like, well, yeah. It's like I can see us going like, hey Sean, here's 3 albums we should review. Want to do an Audioface? And we're like, yeah, sure, fuck it. And we do that. And then at the end of the episode, we say, catch us next week. We're just gonna say, catch you next time. That's whenever the fuck we see you.
Whenever we want to, we'll do it.
Yeah. But yeah, Most Def, a little bit of an uncle rapper, but I think he wins the woke award for this.
100%. That whole just everything was great, and that was before the whole Drake Kendrick beef started. So
I do want to spend more time on this, but I want to go to sleep even more. So let's just run through it with
rap beef, nigga. Punk ass, Jericho, nigga, big nigga.
Stomp him in the nuts. I'ma stomp him in the nuts. Stomp him in the nuts. I'ma stomp him in the nuts.
The Stomp Him in the Nuts award for the best rap beef besides Drake Kendrick. So we had a lot of rap beefs this year besides Drake Kendrick. There's that time Drake called Yassine Bey a crackhead.
I forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
In response to Yassine Bey correctly calling Drake a bitch, there's Kai Cenat. This is Kai Cenat responding to Kanye's manager because Kanye sent Kai Cenat, the world's biggest Twitch streamer. Hassan Piker, eat your heart out. The world's biggest Twitch streamer, Kai Cenat, received some clothes from Kanye West, and they didn't fit. This didn't fit. This really didn't fit him. And Kai Cenat posted about it, and Ye decided to turn that into a rap beef, and Ye didn't realize that him as a washed up 40-year-old man is way less popular than a 20-year-old Twitch streamer. So he got rocked. Ice Spice versus Latto was kind of fun for people who comprehend at a 3rd grade reading level for rap music. And then there was Megan Thee Stallion versus Nicki Minaj, which I think was kind of funny because Nicki Minaj was doing the Drake thing about like, oh, I'm a better rapper. I'm better than you. You ain't shit. And Megan Thee Stallion was like, yeah, your husband's a rapist. your husband's a PDF file download.
Literally certified. Like case in point, tried and true, set in stone in the law.
It's like Megan Thee Stallion's like, Meg, I'd have you pick up my niece and nephew from school, but I'd ask if you and your man can come babysit my kids, but my neighbors download the Nextdoor app. We can't do that.
That's a good one.
Okay. I don't know. I blasted through the last two ones. What do you think?
I mean, my favorite though is Kai Cenat with Ye's manager, because that shit had me hollering when Ye just started to beef out of nowhere. It's like, dude, you sent him the wrong clothes. Like, your shit's supposed to be ugly and giant and like a trash bag and doesn't even fit him.
That's my favorite one because it reminds me of right now there's a beef between like Elon Musk and a lot of like the
Republican
it's like all of the opportunistic tech bro Republicans who are like, oh, these people are gonna buy us tax cuts and they're just gonna like get us money, and they're like, okay, great, let's just like help them get elected. And then once they're elected, it's like, okay, we're in power, we hate we hate non-whites, whether they're smart, whether they're broke, we just hate them. And Vivek Ramaswamy is doing his same, like, but you obviously don't mean me, right, guys? And everyone in the country's like, we especially mean you.
Yes, literally.
As someone who is in community with a good number of Indian folks in my life, let me just convey like they're all scream laughing. They've all been laughing about Vivek Ramaswamy for a year, and they're like, it's the ultimate leopards are eating my face party thing. But yeah, to see Ye go after Kai Cenat, not knowing that Ye's only fans at this point are Kai Cenat's fans.
Brilliant. It's the best marketing ever.
Yeah. Insult everyone who likes you. That's the best way to go about marketing. It's Dan from the Internet Strategy. Album of the year. Okay, let's put it like this. We picked Romance by Fontaines DC for best alternative. We picked a number of albums for best rap. We had Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish for best pop. We had Justice for electronic. Last Dinner Party for indie. We have a good selection on here, honestly, for album of the year. Based off of what we've talked about and based off of what has like come close. We don't have to make this a 10-minute video, but like, what are we doing here? 2024, the best year of Audioface. The last year of Audioface 1.0. What was the best album of this entire best year of this experience? When I put it like that, it's hard. It's interesting because if I contextualize it as the best album of the past 7 years, GNX moves higher to me because of what it represents. But within the context of this year, not even close still. Honestly, my two favorite albums this year. Even though I said I liked what Doechii accomplished compared to Chromacopia, because Chromacopia and rap music was a very crowded genre, I think my best albums are Chromacopia and Brat, because they are artists who we've seen for a long time, who have had their respective trashy eras, who have had their respective unrefined artistic genius eras. And now we're seeing them both Charlie XCX and Tyler the Creator basically had emotional breakdowns at the end of their album, respectively, basically saying, I'm tired of being the character that I've created myself as for the past 5 or 10 years. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of being a pop star. I'm tired of being angsty, and I'm tired of trying to appeal to these highly capitalistic emotions and impulses that work to help me sell records and sell tickets. I want to escape it all. I want to start a family. I want to go like SZA and just move out on the farm somewhere and be left the fuck alone with my millions of dollars. And even Doechii, she like, thankfully she's got years in her, right? And I'm not saying Tyler and Charlie don't, but both Tyler and Charlie are at a time where they've both grown, but they're also very confident with their sound. And I think that confidence, as well as that growth, having the history of both of them, especially, like Bastard and Scumfuck Flower Boy with Tyler, like,
yeah.
If I'm going to be like, hi, aliens, who have like the Babel fish Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing in their ear, who can understand everything I'm saying. If I can describe to you the best of what humans have got from music in 2024 in the English language, it's probably going to be those two. Not because necessarily they're the best of music, but I think both of them, as
they fit the year, is the thing. They fit
as a Los Angeles black man, as a British chav white woman in their 30s. I think they both encapsulate like this generation and growing up and all of the messiness it entails and all that it has led to in this moment, to be like, okay, warts and all, this is what we've come up with. And Michael, like, when Michael Jackson released his biggest albums, when Prince released their biggest, like when Donna, those albums were big and they were like pop hits, but I didn't really think they were growing as people, right? Like, they were still their characters, they were still their pop personas. And now you're getting a generation of artists who are just like, I'm done with that. And they're successful after doing that, which I think is just like, it's amazing. It's like you can be yourself even as like a pop artist or as not, and you can grow into your own thing, and that still works. So those are my picks. Sean, with the caffeine that you have, what have you got?
I mean, Chromacopia is definitely one of mine for sure, because I think I really, really liked it as a record, as a project in this year. I mean, it feels like it'll stand the test of time of that. Shit. And then it's hard with that. Like, my two are Chromacopia and then Hyperdrama from Justice. Those are my two favorites of the year. The two I probably listen to the most, other than Cutouts, but I can't give it to no Zionists. And the way that both those records made me excited about a genre that I have not been excited about in quite some time is really showing the artistry in those records. They were big highlights to me of the year, both of them, and I kept coming back to them. I really liked Brat a lot. I really liked Hit Me Hard and Soft a lot, but pop has been a good genre the past actually several years. I've been saying that all like past, I think, 3 award shows. I was like, oh, pop's really good. But like electronic, I haven't been excited about electronic in a long time, and Hyperdramas just blew me out the water. Rap, I wasn't excited about rap for a long time, and Chromacopia and GNX, a bunch of records really blew me out of the water. But those two to me were the standouts and the ones that piqued my interest, and I know I'm gonna listen to a lot even in this year. I'm gonna continuously go back to those records and get more out of them as time goes on.
We don't need to declare a winner. I am happy with all of those. Even Hyperdrama. Like,
the winner is The Silence That Remains by the Horse.
The winner is the Rick and Morty-esque alternate universe in which Tom York and Johnny Greenwood decide to not become Zionists, in which case it's a clean sweep.
It's clean sweep Cutouts. Just like, that's it. Cutouts. Good night.
No, actually, I think Cutouts plays through better as an album, but I like the songs on Wall of Eyes more.
Interesting. Yeah.
So we'll leave that there. Once Trump frees Palestine, when Trump frees Palestine, we'll reopen this conversation.
Once the Trump tariffs free Palestine, we're good to go.
Once the Trump tariffs re-elect Justin Trudeau, we'll
Oh, buddy, my man's. Castro's son. Never forget.
Song of the year was The Friends We Made Along the Way. Chairman Sean, what are your honorable mentions? I can go with mine.
All right, we already did mine, so.
I mean, like, we did your Do Something Different award. Your honorable mentions are just like your, I love these, but it did not make it to win an award or even get nominated.
I have 72 days, 21 hours, 7 minutes, and 53 seconds until Nightlife by the Horrors comes out. That's my honorable mention. But you've had 3 singles that have come out, and I've tried really hard
for this Horrors album.
I tried really hard not to listen to them as much as I can.
We don't even call it the Horrors album. We just call it the Fountain of Youth.
The Fountain of Youth. But Lotus Eater, like literally that song alone, when I listened to that, I just sat.
Song of the decade.
Literally, I just sat there and I was just like,
doesn't it suck knowing it's never gonna get any better than that?
It's like that was what solidified Audioface 1.0 for me. I'm like, we can't, like, that's it, because we would need to take like a 3-hour podcast on just this album when it comes out. Like,
just that song,
bro. Just the Lotus Eaters just blew me out the fucking water.
An hour a minute.
Just so good.
The way they went from C sharp major to A flat minor right in between the 45 to 47 second mark was just exquisite. No. Yeah, that Horrors record is gonna 2025 is gonna be, again, the world is terrible, but the music is great. There's going to be a lot of great music coming out, especially over the next couple of terrible years. We're going to spend the next couple of terrible years dipping into that good music every once in a while, but also dipping back into, like, I don't know how we'll decide it other than like whatever the fuck Sean and I feel like doing, but we're going to try to tap into music that kind of like has something to say about the moments we're living in right now without being like, we're going to review Gorilla's Plastic Beach because climate change. Like, no, we'll try to be like a little bit deeper than that. It's not like as easy. Although you can definitely make that as easy. But yeah, for my honorable mentions, I definitely want to mention Silence is Loud by Nia Archives. Great record. Kind of neo-poppy, but when it came down to it, just like didn't really hit exactly for what I wanted to do. The Idols record that Kenny Beats and Nigel Godrich did, phenomenal as well. Phenomenal. The Doing It For Me album by Larry June. Again, I think rap is very regional right now, and Bay Area rap especially. There are a lot of instrumental callbacks to Bay Area rap in Kendrick's newest project, but they were not, the artists weren't all there, but it's totally fine. But that was really good. And then Taylor Swift by A$AP Rocky. A music video that violates the Geneva Conventions.
Literally
it was like, we filmed this video before the Ukraine war as it was starting. You're like, okay, cool. What?
In the middle of it. Yep.
It's like, and like you just can't tell what's CGI and what's just like a good old Balkan Tuesday.
Solid Balkans Wednesday, bro.
It's like you just see like a rocket like launching behind an apartment complex, and then like immediately North Korea jump landing down and hitting a playground, and just like, oh yes, Tuesday. But yes, after 2 hours and 44 minutes and 5 seconds and 7 years, this has been your Audioface.
Wow.
What does it mean to play us out? It's been an honor.
The future holds us.
It's been an honor playing with you, gentlemen.
It's been an honor. I mean, it's not like it's ending, but it's just the normal, this regular format is, and it needs.
Yeah,
it's run its course.
And yeah, like let's be clear. This next 4 years, we all know that #NoPolitics was kind of the joke of Audioface. there's a lot of attention and, you know, a great team on the Power Report side of things on Syndicate 23. And so I think they're going to be continuing to do the bulk of work. But Audioface has been a wonderful thing. We've created great stuff through like Lyrics and Legos, through the bonus episodes, through all these other different like brands and things that we can definitely continue to leverage. Not a lot of podcasts can say they've been around doing music reviews for 7-8 years straight. So we can definitely leverage these things as a brand. But ultimately, more important than this podcast is Sean and I's friendship and enjoying music and enjoying this time. And so the continuation of that podcast will be in ways in which Sean and I get to enjoy music together as friends. And then we happen to record that and you get to enjoy it with us together. So it's been amazing because we've been yelling at the wall and yelling at apparently the whole music industry for 8 years about how things should be done. And in the past 1 or 2 years, they've been listening to us completely, from the Drake beef to changing, you know, rock is dead, rock is back. Rap is dead, rap is back. Pop is boring, pop is dynamic. Indie is going to be the change of music. Now indie is boring. Like Audioface has been ahead of it every single time. And I think that, you know, that's a great thing that I'm going to like cherish and value, that, you know, we've been on record ahead of time for a lot of these music trends. And let's take that knowledge and apply it into a more fun musical project that hopefully doesn't have us staying up late at nights with gigabytes of hard drive space and lots of lost sleep and lots of lost thousands of dollars and lots of stress from significant others going, are you sure the lawsuit's not going to be a big deal? And all these other different things that Audioface 1.0 has been entailed. So Sean, thank you for being the greatest person to ever forgive me for kicking them in the balls. And I don't know, you're hosting. What does it mean to play us out?
Audioface our show for everything, and we will figure out what we're gonna do. And I'm actually really excited to change the format of this. Very much excited for it. I talk about some old new music, some new old music, and 72 days, 21 hours, 1 minute, and 12 seconds.
Jamiroquai, anyone?
That one. What?
Jamiroquai, anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what is it to say? Thank you all very much for listening and watching. This has been Audioface, your 7 years. Audioface can be found on Audioface Pod in a lot of different places. Will we be active in those places? Can't tell, but you can try. This has been a Syndicate 23 production. This continues to be a Syndicate 23 production. Thank you very much to everyone who has helped throughout all the years. John's family, Aaliyah's bird, not Aaliyah. All the guests who have come on throughout the years, doing bonus episodes. All the lawyers who have come on throughout the years, either doing bonus episodes or helping us prevent from doing regrettable bonus episodes. All the audience, all the fans, everyone, it has all been very great. Thank you all for listening and watching. And lastly, perhaps most importantly, I want to thank Nico Suarez, the late one of the late mascot cats of the podcast. So thank you all very much from wherever you are, the great beyond, to hear what's that one line from the MF Doom song? From Earth to the HBO satellite, it's showtime, nigga. This has been Audioface. My phone is being loud. This is fine. And cheers.
Bye-bye.
Until next time.
Yep.